11:20 at the Geek House, and we're going to have ourselves a little conversation here about some things that have been going on, and we're going to forward date this to the 18th of September because there's not a doubt in my mind there's more than enough stuff to talk about in order for this to go past midnight and basically be the discussion for the 18th. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, a.k.a. MultimediaJay, and Splatoon sucks. Play a real FPS. Okay, that's our random statement of the day. One of these years, I'll check it out. But I'm so hopelessly behind. I'm so hopelessly behind on every backlog that I have for literally every platform, PC and otherwise, that I can't for the. I mean, it'd be cool to play games again, but the truth of the matter is, play Mario games again. The truth of the, or even Splatoon or whatever. Truth of the matter is, I'm just looking over what I have here. The retro setup over there, not being used. The SNES stuff, not being used. The Wii games, not being used. GameCube games, not being used. PS2, not being used. PS3, not being used. PC regular games, not being used. The Steam, not being used. Xbox Game Pass, canceled the membership. I tell you, the story... When do you think it'll ever not be an irresponsible use of money for me to buy a Nintendo Switch or start playing the Splatoon series when I probably have a backlog that's tall enough to go from the floor of this place clear to the ceiling, if just in physical media? Stack like every game that I haven't played or haven't played enough, start on the floor, and it would probably go to the ceiling. Maybe that's a YouTube short waiting to happen. I don't know. But it's just, holy crap. Feast, famine, whatever it is, but is the feast really a feast? When you grow up, you get out on your own, games get cheap, you can buy whatever ones you want, and then never get around to playing them after growing up with like one or two games that you were playing from your birthday to Christmas every year, because you would be lucky if you ever got games more than twice a year. That is the change from the old millennium to the new millennium. That is my story as a gamer. And so there's Dan showing up, having some fun. Logan, I figured, was the first one here because he actually checks out the location, the notifications and everything. But I played some Guild Wars 2 earlier tonight. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I didn't really know what I was going to do. But I wanted to stress test this because earlier this... it's not midnight yet, so technically calendar today, earlier this afternoon, etc. I actually had the service tech out to see what happened to the internet, but even before the service tech came out here and had a hard time finding anything wrong with the connection, as I figured they would, I went outside and I looked at where the service comes into the house. So electrical, gas, and Ethernet and cable. And I noticed that there were some vines that grew up along the side of the house over the summer. And I was like, yeah, those things grow every year. I'm always cutting them down in September. I take a look, and those things have like a death grip on the coax service going into the house. I'm like, let's cut them at the roots so they start dying because they can't get any water from the ground. And once they shrivel a little, go in with some cutting pliers, cut the rest of them up and pull them off. And hopefully it's not poison ochre or poison ivy or anything. Yeah, stuff like that. So it's, so I go and I do that. I get those things off the house and it's just, yeah. So, then I did some stress tests and things ran a little better. And now I did a stress test a couple hours ago. So hopefully we're back to any kind of disruption or loss of sync or something as something that won't happen anywhere near as often. I'm still running the throughput monitor over on screen number 2 to see if there's any more of those big swings, but I haven't seen any since I cut those vines. So I haven't seen any since I cut those vines, and we'll see a couple of little dips here and there. But the guy actually came out and took a look at the signal. My town does have issues with variable service and signal levels, and wiring can get all screwy and grounds can be wrong and stuff like that. But actually coming to this house, the signal's actually pretty good. He was wondering if maybe my modem was flaking out, but my modem's only 2 years old. So Motorola too, Broadcom chipset, nice solid device. There are people that bought the modem that I have that got rid of like a 10 or 11-year-old modem to do so, even though they're only supposed to last like 4 to 7 years. I really don't have any real recollection of modems ever being more than a problem once every several years. So if this la-di-da service tech was right, and it is my modem flaking out that was causing all the problems, which I'm not seeing it in the Ethernet heading out. If it really is my modem that was causing all the problems, then I would say technology has taken a very serious downgrade since the ADSL days, where I'd have like one ADSL modem that would last for like 3 or 4 years until there was a lightning strike or some adverse event like that. Another thing I do is that my main network equipment is now sent through UPS. And one of the things that uninterruptible power supplies do is they kind of sort of serve as an isolation transformer, because I don't know if some of them switch between AC and battery. Others is like a car. It keeps the battery charged, and the thing that powers the battery and runs everything is also what powers your devices. So you have all that going on. Keep the drinks handy because it's very, very dry here. 59% humidity after I've had the windows closed for 5 hours, but outside it absolutely is getting very cold and dry out there. Cold as in not summer anymore. But there are storms spinning in the Atlantic. They're going to suck away the moisture. So we have all this going on. And I'm checking this out. I'm keeping an eye on the Ethernet out. I've never monitored output bandwidth this much before, but it looks like we're having. It looks like the vines might have been what did it. Air pockets in this thing sound like a freaking whoopee cushion. Much, much better. So yeah, showed up with the drinks, and we're gonna catch up on what's been going on. I mean, my feeds have been loaded up with Sky News UK and the Queen, since the Queen passed away. Let me just say a few things. Main discussion tonight is a very assertive statement. It's not wrong to want YouTube to do its job. I just want to say that. It's not wrong to want YouTube to do its job and not feel like you're wasting your time on YouTube, because sick of it, man. I did the Guild Wars 2 thing earlier, and what? It's like, what is this? Let me just say this regarding the gaming stuff on my channel. What was that? Is that a beep? Or am I squeaking something? Might have activated something by mistake. Oh, wait. This thing. So, but it didn't turn on. Must have squeaked something. Either way, when it comes to the gaming stuff on this channel, let me just say this. If it feels like everyone just vanishes whenever I talk gaming or do gaming, then I'm just going to follow suit. You're going to see less and less stuff here, because you know what? I got a retro setup. I got a modern setup. I have plenty of games to play, and I have plenty of stuff to watch. I have plenty of other things to do besides sit here hoping that the algorithm lets me have any views. So it's a 10-year-old, the whole gaming video hate thing from 10 years ago, where people wrote off your gaming content on your YouTube channel because of some internal belief they had about video games, whether it was, you know, overcomplicating, whether they respect the content creator, or making endless excuses for YouTube, which is basically working for free. That old thing, that old monster, it's time for this to stop once and for all. In the 2000s, you could be a variety channel and do gaming videos, and it would not murder your channel's views. The attitudes that people have that lead to that being the case nowadays is 100% in your head. This is fabricated by people. This is beliefs that people have here that don't have to have anything to do with the reality of the situation. If you actually look at the social side of social media and you actually respect the people that you supposedly support, you'll give them the benefit of the doubt and check out some of the stuff that they're into. Just like maybe you don't agree with one of your friends offline on something. But maybe, you know, maybe you don't like a band that they're into, but if they're going out, they got tickets somewhere and they just want to like, hey, let's go out, have friends, you know, we're friends, let's head out to a concert or something. You want to go out to the show, maybe it's not your cup of tea, but you go because you respect the other person and they're your friend. And maybe you like the music even a little at what's being done there. But I can tell you this, maybe I'm old-fashioned for doing this, but there are variety creators Not to say the Splatoon joke earlier was an example of this, because I would check out Splatoon, but I've never gotten into it before. Don't really understand it other than it was a new Nintendo franchise years ago on the Wii U. But I can tell you this, I have watched Twitch streamers and YouTubers that I respect play video games that I'm not really interested in playing because they're respectable as human beings, and I respect them. Today, though, you got this attitude floating around like everybody's so selfish. People have YouTube on their phones, and they just don't think of it. They don't think anything of the human side of it anymore. And in the worst cases, they will actually work for free as PR spin doctors for Google, making up all these excuses for things that people complain about on YouTube. And in some cases, building entire channels off of speculation videos, which is stupid to do on YouTube because YouTube's employees actually talk about how their own platform works. You don't need a smarmy talking head on vidIQ to tell you about the algorithm when YouTube's own managers who work on it talk about how it works and come right out and say it doesn't find viewers for all your videos. It tries to find videos that viewers want to watch. So there's just so much stupidity out there, so much clout chasing, so many people making all kinds of cookie cutter throwaway, they all look like each other YouTube videos about things related to content creation, and not like what I do where I just chime in on current events or something along those lines. These are people out there that are growing channels from people who just, let's be blunt, they're not satisfied with where they're at on these platforms. So they go looking for answers. And it's the same kind of snake oil as the people that sell like miracle cures for weight loss and crap like that. Something about your life leaves you dissatisfied, including what people who are educated and can actually tell you the truth about things will tell you. And so you go seeking people to tickle your itchy ears, so to speak. You go seeking people who tell you what you want to hear and to massage your confirmation bias. When there are far more qualified people out there who will actually tell you the way things are. You just might not like that. So I'll tell you, the antagonism towards gaming content on YouTube from variety creators that's been going on for over a decade now, where people thumb their nose at you and they're like, "Oh, I didn't subscribe for this. The hell is this? Why are you doing more than one thing on your channel? Why don't you just be a one-trick pony robot? Why don't you just be a brand like all these corporate brands that I complain about and then I go trying to find individual human beings to watch on YouTube for some reason?" They don't say that, but that's the philosophy. Oh, corporate America sucks. Corporate media sucks. You know, big companies lie to me. They're faceless corporations. They all suck. Let me go find the little guy. Oh, the little guy had better act like those faceless corporations or I'm not going to support them. It's stupid. So many people out there, they're not thinking about what it is that they're doing. No, this is people. This is individuals. This is individuals with interests. Those of you watching live and watching after the fact, you're going to be interested in stuff that I'm not, and vice versa. But just because there's whatever differences between us doesn't mean that we burn bridges. Full stop. So here's what's going to happen after over a decade of this crap going on with gaming content on YouTube. Ironically, as YouTube wants to become more well-known as a place to stream video games. Ain't that something? Here's what's going to happen. If I think I'm wasting my time on YouTube, I'm just going to make maybe a video once every couple of weeks or something, or whenever I'm inspired, but otherwise forget it. Don't stream, don't do anything. I'm going to enjoy the video games that I have. I've already made the commitment to not stop being a gamer in order to be a game streamer. So I'm not going to spoil my initial experience of games like these big Twitch streamers do in order to stream it as I play it for the first time. I want to know what I'm doing, not be completely new to the game, and actually be able to have a focus for what it is that I'm commenting on with commentary. I don't just want to be like, oh yeah, this is my first playthrough of Far Cry whatever, because I'm undercutting myself as a gamer. There's mental health problems right now with numerous game streamers out there because they don't understand this important difference. So, look, if things continue the way they are, you're just not going to see me unless I make a video once in a while. Because one of the things you learn as you get older is that your free time is valuable. You don't just throw it away to just about anything. If you don't feel like you're using it properly, stop. Make some changes. And then we can talk about the money side of it. Like, oh, you joined the partner program. People were complaining when I joined the partner program. People were complaining when I launched a Patreon. There's probably going to be people complaining that I, started with memberships and stuff like that after YouTube bothered me for so long to get that set up. But look, the truth of the matter is, if I want more money, the way to do that is to walk away from all of this. There's so many places around here that'll hire you for $20 an hour. And that's one of the things I've been doing for the last couple of weeks that has led to my Labor Day weekend video for September still not being done. You're going to see the transition from summer to fall at the Geek House in this next tech video. Because you know what? I just said heck with it and enjoyed the stuff that I have. Playing games, playing Guild Wars, watching something, streaming something, and didn't grind away all my free time streaming to nobody. Or making a video that's only going to get 20 views because the algorithm won't do anything with it. And out of my 3,800 subs, only 130 people in the entire audience of all time, granted, this channel's been around for many, many years. Only about 130 people have notifications even turned on in the first place. So for the extreme majority of my audience, I'm sitting here hoping that YouTube lets me have some views. Because as we found out in recent weeks, the algorithm is your iron-fisted overlord on here. The numbers reflect that too. We're going to go into Creator Studio a little later on. Let me show you. And look, folks, I think you'd want it to be this way because you know what it's going to take? You want to know how powerful Google's technology is with this stuff? Now, plenty of social media platforms are playing with algorithms these days. It's an attempt to solve a need of human beings here. Nick says, you're on my recommended. Nice to see real people in the chat instead of spam bots, but I am experimenting with the stricter filtering. So if somebody trips it, I will approve the message. But I'm actually experimenting with some of YouTube's new things here. You're succeeding. Yeah, well, it's cool to see people stop by. It's cool to see people stop by besides those I love you spammers that are like, click this link for a hot whatever. So YouTube's been working on spam filter technology, but I'm trying the stricter one now. So hopefully I'm not approving too many false positives here. But even still, the YouTube algorithm is based on your watch history. So in order for you to even see a lot of live streams, you have to show interest in them, which probably will mean watching mainstream media for a certain amount of time because that's what YouTube pushes. So if you've been watching news or something like that, or in some way, shape, or form, or maybe you have a YouTuber that converted to live streaming, maybe you have a YouTuber that converted over to live streaming, you might start seeing those little red things for who's live and you're recommended, but you have to show interest. The same thing works at YouTube Shorts. You're going to start seeing YouTube Shorts when you start watching a lot of shorts. So once you show interest in YouTube Shorts, then the system will actually start populating pretty much everything. The problem I have with YouTube Shorts, yeah, laugh it up, Nick. I know, right? YouTube Shorts, ain't that something? The problem I have with YouTube Shorts, though, is just the culture's not there. It's one of those things that's unnecessarily complicated up here somewhere. So because of TikTok and the scroll feed of the way that type of social media works on phones, I'm more interested in watching vertical format stuff by randomly having it sent to me when I'm swiping the phone. I just cannot for the life of me wrap my head around the idea of browsing YouTube for vertical videos that are only a minute long. They're recommending YouTube Shorts to me, but I can tell you just from old habit, it is really hard for me to want to click over to a YouTube Short. So YouTube Shorts is garbage. Sorry. It's the way things are, though. The majority of YouTube's traffic nowadays is coming off of mobile devices, and one of the most common mobile devices that people have around the world is, sadly, for us AV folks who like the big theater screens and stuff that's actually horizontal, it's the smartphone. Now, about 11 years ago or whatever, there was this whole thing with, well, where's the phone? We got to acknowledge that the computers that do the basics these days are shaped like this. So vertical video is here to stay, much to the chagrin of folks like myself from, and the Glove and Boots skit, which I don't think is on their channel anymore. I think someone re-uploaded it. It is so easy to just turn it this way and watch on a normal looking screen. Well, it is so difficult to do this, to turn your phone sideways. We had to make it a standard through everybody doing this for however many years. One miss it, not even a second to watch something like this. And, oh, it's hard to hold. Oh, look at this. Look at this, horizontal. I can watch it like this now, or I can just do this or just watch it like this, something like that. It's like, not to mention TikTok is watching everything you do. So does YouTube and every other thing developed by Google. Your analytics are public information too. On Twitch, they're public. YouTube, it's, who knows? Social Blade, though, has some crude analytics. We don't really have anything like Sully Gnome for YouTube. And I think some of the streamers coming over from Twitch to YouTube are probably making the choice to do so they won't get analyzed as much by numbers nerds like myself. But the sad truth of the matter is, I will just randomly, here's the thing, this is something we discovered a couple of weeks ago. You follow somebody you follow these Twitch streamers, you subscribe to the Twitch streamers who changed platforms. Then you go to your subscriptions feed. Subscriptions will actually clump live streams that aren't constantly ongoing at the top of your feed because they're technically the newest content when they're live now, because the subscription thing is in chronological order by how old the stuff is. So it's one of those cute little things that just popped up. So if I want to keep an eye on the numbers of various Twitch streamers who change platforms, I can just use my subscriptions tab to check in when they're live. And I can see who's got what concurrence and then see who's been streaming for whatever. But the truth of the matter is, there's way too much of an emphasis on concurrence. One of the reasons why Twitch culture is so obsessed with the concurrent view count is because it's not a comprehensive platform. If your content's not alive, it's dead. That's just the way it is. Yeah, all that matters, and Twitch made the decision to double down on this. All 140 million MAUs versus the billions that exist on YouTube and Facebook worldwide, as the two biggest social media platforms out there that do this kind of stuff. Yeah, so the obsession with concurrence, obsession with concurrence is the direct result of Twitch's business decisions. I just don't like when Twitch streamers try to export that to YouTube. I don't like when Ludwig comes over here and he's like, I'm speedrunning getting banned, and then he shows soccer highlights and anime on his stream until Content ID cuts him off. I'm like, that's not a DMCA, that's not a copyright strike. That's the system that exists, so the bad old days of YouTube being strikes only are gone. Unless you have a few rare companies like Sony Music Japan who are still playing hardball old school or old school hardball. That's the system that Twitch doesn't have. That's the system that got Fuslie within one copyright strike of being perma-banned for DMCA off of Twitch. And all of her Twitch friends being unable to say anything about her. Now she's on YouTube. Thank goodness. About time she came somewhere that would respect a content creator in that way. So I'm very confused when I subscribed to you and why I did, but I did at some point, though. Now, there's lots of things that I've been doing over the years because I do not follow the rules. Sorry. I'm a nerd, number one, so strike one against me. I'm fat, strike two. I'm older, strike three. I'm sitting here with sunglasses indoors, strike four. Oh, wait, I'm long out at this point. But the truth of the matter is, I'm incredibly OG with how I run things on this channel. The way I do things now is very in line with the way people used to do things back in 2006, 2007, 2008, in the early days of YouTube, when it really was a form of self-expression. You didn't have these people making these look-alike videos with in-video advertising. That might be weird in a couple of years, depending on what happens to the companies doing the deals. You have all these people making all these videos that look like each other, so the algorithm will pass it around, because pastiches are a way to get the algorithm to send your stuff around. Great example. I was introduced to a brand new channel that I'd never watched before today. It was a topic that I have zilch interest in. Real estate. I'm not a landlord. I'm not renting properties. I'm not buying houses. I'm not trying to get my real estate license. I'm not literally, I mean, this is look, what I do is stuff based on the flashier side of technology. Presentations, fooling around with AV equipment and stuff like that. Fooling around with AV equipment and stuff like that. Yeah, the original opener for my old videos from the 2000s was technology, audio-visual equipment, now presentations, computers, multimedia. This is the show that's about it all. So I got all of that stuff way back when. I mean, this is absolutely a variety channel. It absolutely does not follow the YouTube SOPs. I mean, I might experiment with a few things like end screens that make sense, but I don't go out of my way essentially making the same video over and over again, just changing the topic of that video and stuff. That's probably why I subscribe to the AV equipment. Well, this is pretty skunk works in and of itself. So I don't have the $1,000 DSLRs that the pretty rich people have on here. I have a Sony Handycam, and it was the last 1080p Sony Handycam. They're all 4K now, but it was the last. I like the built-in microphones, and I like the internal format of how it makes the video files. So I found out the hard way when I tried going to Canon in 2020 that Corel Video Studio, the descendant of ULEAD Video Studio that I was using way the heck back in college, Corel Video Studio doesn't play nice with MP4s if you are re-editing them after creating them. It'll add things like phantom syllables. You might have heard some of them in there. I probably should at some point save some money up and get the version of Vegas that's on Steam, compare the two, maybe finally switch over to Vegas for making videos instead of the great-great-grandkid, whatever it is, of ULEAD Video Studio from 2006. I probably bought about 4 releases of it, too. I never wanted to be one of those people making the generic-looking videos in Windows XP, Windows Movie Maker and stuff. But, yeah, so I don't have the fancy equipment. This is a Blue Yeti Nano. It's going straight to the computer. I don't have an analog system, so there won't be any noise or anything. Analog, this is going to the USB. It's, it is what it is. Gaming headset, the microphone's useless because you need the dongle in order to use this, unless I want to be like one of those fake gamer streamers who has the gaming headset mic that you can tell from the sound they're clearly not using. But stuff along those lines. Let's see, the computer runs a Skylake i7 with 24 gigs of RAM instead of 32 because I screwed up when I picked what I wanted to upgrade the computer with. Stuff like that when I upgraded from 16 gigs. So, I mean, one of the things that I do is I push consumer grade stuff as far as it's going to go. But that's not popular among some of these videographers out there who use $1,500 DSLRs as webcams on manual focus, blurring everything out in the background. This is a Nexigo webcam doing this, handles the low light better than more expensive stuff that I have. I have a dongle that I've been meaning to check out for over 6 months to try and repurpose. Yeah, I got to catch up with that tech backlog over there. To try and repurpose old YouTube cameras to be able to use YouTube cameras for things like streaming. Never got around to it. Probably have the wrong lens for it too. It's probably not a wide enough lens for that kind of stuff. Premiere Pro, yeah, Adobe's a subscription service these days. Getting all the way back to however long ago that was with the gaming stuff, though, truth of the matter is, I've been watching gaming stuff be like an instant death sentence for your variety channel on YouTube for over 10 years. I'm just not going to continue playing this game, especially with the YouTube algorithm being so hit and miss with this garbage. So, I mean, if the folks aren't interested in Guild Wars, folks who subscribe to me aren't interested in Guild Wars 2, that's it. Them's the breaks. But I'm not going to sit here making endless excuses for YouTube when their algorithm should be finding me a better audience. That's the thing. Okay. Oh, it doesn't find an audience for your videos. It recommends videos to viewers. Okay, enough with the semantics. How do I get into the rotation? YouTube. Do I have to do clickbait like all those idiots with their challenge videos? Do I have to make the same video as everybody else? Only change the thing just enough so I get picked up as a pastiche? Do I have to do all that kind of stuff? Your mic sounds great, says Nick. I got one of those $30 newer microphones running to a Behringer UMC 404. I do have a Behringer from years and years ago. It's like an XM8500, the answer to the Shure SM58. The Behringer answer to the Shure SM58, back when I had a lot less money because I was laid off. My preamp's got a pawn shop for $20. Yes, you have to do clickbait. I'm not doing clickbait because I fundamentally respect people. And YouTube doesn't like it. If you look at their how to do metadata stuff in their own service articles, they talk about making it interesting. To the extent, what movie is this? Oh, it's the Crocodile Hunter movie. That's too depressing. All right, 007 on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Cover art. Nothing too flashy here. No crazy title. It's just a James Bond movie from decades ago. Movies and DVD sets for television shows and stuff did exactly this for decades, and there was no problem with that. It's only in the YouTube era that we see people screwing around with clickbait to the extent that they're screwing around with clickbait. So, and you ask yourself, well, when was this movie made? A little hard to see. Probably should get some real light over here. We can look it up. We really want to. But this was made decades ago. I think it's from like the 60s and 70s some. It's one of the early James Bond movies because I've had the Blu-rays on my desk, meaning to watch them for over a year now because they were on sale like in 2021. So here's the thing with clickbait and all the crap going on. If you follow YouTube on Twitter, specifically Team YouTube, if you follow YouTube on Twitter, the number one thing that people get banned over is spam, scams, and deceptive content. And there's an entire help article out there. That tells you what falls under that category. One of them is deceptive metadata. So every single one of these people doing clickbait of any kind is running the risk of account disciplinary action. Some of them might actually get strikes or lose their channels because of it. It is a balancing act. On the one hand, it does create traffic on the platform. On the other hand, it doesn't really lead to the kind of satisfied viewing experience in the long term because, well, we've already seen what success looks like for decades before all this internet stuff became what it is. And it wasn't what all these people are doing. I mean, you got to look at how you come across to others. I mean, I'm sitting here as a guy wearing sunglasses indoors, having all these, discussions and stuff like that. Oh, here's Lie to Me, season 1 on Blu-ray from 2009. I'm sitting here as a guy wearing sunglasses indoors, and I give a darn about how I come across to others. But how do you think you come across to others if your entire YouTube back catalog, as it were, if your entire YouTube back catalog is clickbait titles, or maybe the titles weren't even consistent, there are some people who are there are some gurus out there that are actually telling people, content gurus or whatever, they're actually telling people to change their titles to trick the algorithm into sending it. I don't care what the algorithm does at that point. When a video has done its thing, I really don't care about playing title games. What I care about is offending somebody who likes my stuff because they get tricked into watching something that they've already watched before because I changed the title and thumbnail after the fact and made a video that they already watched look like a video they haven't seen yet. And unless the YouTube red bar is there indicating that they watched it before, they may very well be tricked into watching it again. There's a conversation going on right now with regards to a little something from TikTok that has come over to YouTube Shorts, sadly. And that is the videos that are made to be loopable to milk watch time out of people. So they will end a video with an incomplete sentence to trick you into watching the video 2 or 3 times until you figure out what's going on and finally swipe to the next one. And it's just, no, that's not going to work out in the long run. People are going to grow out of that stuff or they're going to get sick of it. Either way, that really is the overarching theme of what we're talking about. It's not wrong to want YouTube to do its job. What is YouTube's job? Well, it's to provide videos to viewers, of course. But at the same time, it's to foster a group of it's also to, help be a place where content creators can actually exist. And it isn't just a giant corporate thing, because if you want to see what YouTube looks like 100% corporate, go to Dailymotion. They say they're still getting 300 million monthly active users-ish, which would put them on the Statista list we reference a lot. Still making them bigger than Twitch. But I have a hard time believing that when they've been removing features that could be used to watch the decline of the platform. They don't have dislikes. They don't have comments. They just have a heart button. And you know what? They don't even have view counters anymore. And I can imagine why the Dailymotion doesn't have that. Before they pulled the view counters, there was front page promoted content on Dailymotion that was getting a grand total of about 5,000 views. Versus what's trending on YouTube. What does that get up to in terms of numbers? There are channels with critical mass that probably the people involved still think they're small. There are channels with critical mass where the people still think they're small that get like 50,000 views a video. Because they do like short commentaries and stuff like that on, and then they throw in a little bit of FUD, get people mad so that they keep coming back to argue with the computer screen or the phone screen or whatever. But they're established and they have critical mass, so they always get views. But they would get more views than the hottest stuff on Dailymotion. That's the kind of size difference we're talking about here. Yeah, the looping vid is horrible, says Dan. Yeah, look, if you're a music producer who is actually creating music loops, that's what you do. But trying to trick people into watching your video 2, 3, 4 times? YouTube already has a policy regarding deceptive metadata. It's one of the reasons why certain tricks that people used to use, like tag stuffing, are now stuff that can get you strikes. So people, though, put random words in the bottom of their descriptions so that search engine algorithms would pick up the video, and by reading the random terms they put in the bottom. That's now considered a form of spam. You can get strikes or instantly lose your channel because of that. I think the way YouTube is going to move forward with the looping vid thing, I don't think they're going to want to give people strikes or kick them off the platform for a YouTube short 1 minute long that does this. They'll probably do what they did with views. If you're familiar with PewDiePie, many years ago, there was an interview that he gave with someone in the media when he was doing big gaming videos on YouTube, got to his first 10 million subs and whatnot. He actually talked about in his early days F5ing his videos to refresh the browser because it counted as views back then. I think Twitch might even still have that. YouTube patched that out. That's what I think the solution to the whole never-ending looping vid thing with the shorts is. Set something up so that even if people do watch a video 6, 7 times, it only counts once. I'm sure that YouTube will roll that out. They managed to roll that out with the other stuff. So let's see here. It's not wrong to want YouTube to do its job. So this has two parts to it. You have the side of YouTube where when people want to find something to watch, they can easily find it. Kind of like the Netflix side of YouTube, so to speak. People come onto the platform, they want to find things to watch, and they can easily find them and watch them. But then there's the creator side. YouTube was built on the individual. It was built on individuals. Nowadays, there are big personalities, there's companies, there's mainstream media, there are even video rentals and the ability to buy movies digitally on YouTube. YouTube is also home for things like digital copies. If you buy a physical media movie, give me an actual movie. If you buy a physical media movie, the digital copy may very well be something you can unlock on YouTube through things like Movies Anywhere, some other service, things like that. Maybe you'll watch it in degraded quality because it's made for like a phone screen or something. But today's digital copies are basically movies playing on YouTube or some similar service. But Dailymotion is the warning as to what's going to happen when if YouTube went all commercial. And it should be the hard lesson that there has to be room for the individual. Otherwise, you end up with... There have been attempts to make corporate answers to YouTube where only certain types of people could post on there. You had to be a certain size creator in order to post content. All of those would-be competitors have gone belly up. It is always, as it has been for the better part of 2 decades, 2025, in 3 more years, is the 20th anniversary of YouTube. It has been pretty much the case throughout all of this that whoever lets the little guy amount to something is the one who succeeds. YouTube didn't have to exist. Traditional media was already quite well established. So, YouTube cannot forget the little guy. Because if they do, we already have, whoever doesn't forget the little guy gets all the traffic. What do we have for lifetime here? 45 minutes, not even to the hour. Let's see, what do we have for temperature, humidity, and stuff? Oh, 75 in here now after keeping the windows closed for 5 hours, even though I don't have the weather on here. It's midnight outside. We've been going down to about 50 degrees or so. But let's get up and stretch out a bit, refill drinks in the whole 9 yards, and then find something else to talk about along these veins when we get back. Never can tell where that song ends, but I have an auto-resuming playlist for that now, so it doesn't play the same songs over and over again and things along those lines. Let's catch up with the chat a bit here, but first, before we do that, it's important to realize that it's not wrong to want YouTube to do its job. The reason why I'm saying this is because if you want YouTube to deploy its technology correctly so the algorithms are not constantly your enemy, there's nothing wrong with that. It is actually something really good for you to want YouTube to be responsible for that kind of stuff. There's people out there that are basically working for free by making excuses for YouTube with the current status of the technology. It's like they'll make excuses, they'll say, so YouTube's oversaturated, YouTube's been oversaturated the entire time it has existed. People's behavior doesn't change, folks. History repeats itself. Yeah, it's the way it worked. They worked with the game. It worked with the gaming reviewers in the 2000s. Lip balm season's coming up here. It worked with the gaming reviewers in the 2000s. One person finds something that works, AVGN, and suddenly there's a whole bunch of people that want to make the exact same thing because they think it's cool, or they want to try and ride the wave or be popular or emulate his success or whatever it is. So this whole idea of YouTube being oversaturated is a cop-out. So YouTube has always been oversaturated according to these people's standards. But the YouTube of the past was a YouTube where I could go in as a nobody. Nobody knows who I am, not have to like go to 5 different platforms to get people to watch my videos, and basically get to where it makes something out of nothing. You could actually begin on YouTube back then. Nobody knew who you were. You didn't have to have any decent equipment. Just make decent videos despite all the limitations of the time, and you did fine. That worked. Somewhere along the line, though, YouTube decided to get more corporate. Let's catch up on the chat here, and let's look at a few things here. So, yeah, it's not a problem, and you're not a bad person if you want YouTube to do its job. And these people out there that are working for free doing damage control for YouTube, heck with them. All right, so let's catch us up. Nick says he's 17. Ah, yeah, so a minor. So your life hasn't even begun yet, buddy. Whatever you think is progress in high school, you're going to be laughing at by the time you're 20. So I wouldn't get too deep with how you think things are going, because I can tell you that high school is a great way to fishbowl the living hell out of you, where you think stupid stuff matters. I can't imagine it's gotten any better. Cell phones were not a thing. Smartphones were definitely not a thing in my day. Cell phones were a thing if you had a mobile business. Then flip phones weren't even popular either. That kind of became a thing in the 2000s and stuff. So at least if you had problems with drama, they would go away when you went home for the evening. But can't imagine now with the internet in your pocket and growing up with these things. No wonder, we have schools in my area talking about having mental health clinics on site, trying to convince the town and the state to get involved and finance something besides a school nurse and a school psychologist for helping youngsters with mental health. Because, I mean, if the internet never truly goes away unless you break from your childhood nostalgia of growing up with these things, then I seriously think there's going to need to be some remedial something for the Zoomers on how to unplug and how to not make it so that the internet dictates your entire life, as a sad side effect of the technology that the millennials like myself were all wild west about. Yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, he says back when he was younger, he was watching Vines and stuff. Yeah, the ancestor of YouTube Shorts. Ain't that something? I remember Vines. Never really got into it. All I did was watch YouTube, learning stuff and watching Vines. Well, that might be a problem, too. It might indicate too much smartphone stuff. And then we wonder why we have problems like what I've seen on Twitch in the last 24 hours. Oh, boy. The sad part is that you have these people who find ways to get semi-famous as game streamers, and then they normalize behavior like that thing I have a constant problem with, where Twitch streamers are one way on stream and another way on Twitter. Last night, I'm not even going to talk about it here because everybody's talking about it, and it's fundamentally wrong that it even happened in the first place. You have a large streamer now doing this. Here I was thinking it was just angry small streamers. No, one of the biggest streamers on the platform can act like this too. And you know what? The sad part is, anytime you have these like big streamers that just coast, the term I'm using right now is they park their ass on their critical mass. In other words, they've attained some level of success and they can just keep on keeping on and they'll get an audience just because of what they've been successful with. So they get to that point where they basically can just keep on entertaining a decent audience no matter what it is they do. And then they interpret that as an excuse to be stupid and to not try to improve themselves as people. But it's kind of sad. There's people out there that are now galvanized in really awful behavior that makes them look bad because of the stuff that went on with this kind of stuff. So let's see here. It's not wrong to want YouTube to do its job. There's an entire argument, an entire discussion about all of that. There's a whole bunch of that stuff going on. Click, click. There's a whole bunch of that stuff going on. And it's not a problem if you want YouTube to not feel like a waste of time. People need to stop giving YouTube free excuses and free PR for that kind of stuff. So yeah, hopefully it cools down here. Is that making a difference? I opened the attic, which effectively doubles the size of the house that we're trying to heat, and it allows heat to escape through upstairs. That's what I do when I'm running the fans and stuff to cool the place off. But yeah, so 75 in here, 59%. It's starting to feel like summer again, even though it's very much autumn outside. So let's see here. We have a couple of fish that we don't want to get away, so to speak. So let's get some browsers going here. What does browser mode currently link up to? Nothing. All right. So let me just en passant talk about this. This is a wonderful screenshot. This is a wonderful screenshot of Guild Wars 2. It runs in DirectX 11 mode now, but it still has performance problems, unlike the much newer Elder Scrolls Online. I think that Guild Wars 2 really breaks the engine and stuff along those lines. So she was one of the characters. This character here was one of the characters that I was leveling during the game stream earlier tonight. She's a guardian, but she's also a dragon hunter. So she's basically the Zen archer that I was experimenting with in ESO and stuff. But if you think that Guild Wars 2 can't pump out some cool looking visuals, the painterly aesthetic, well, I mean, this looks a little dated with the primitive anti-aliasing and stuff. And really the graphics are on par with a mobile game these days. But holy crap, I can't believe I was able to make a screenshot like this with Guild Wars 2 and then Picasso it with like a soft focus and stuff. It looks like DSLR type stuff. So, but this is nighttime in the deserts of Alona near that, whatever that pyramid was with the jumping puzzle. But I was like, how do you make a thumbnail in Guild Wars 2 with the way things are? You make a thumbnail in Guild Wars 2 by tightening up the wide angle lens, so to speak. Reminds me of WoW 10 years ago, but it's perfect. Well, it pretty much was a reaction to WoW 10 years ago. Guild Wars 2 was a response to World of Warcraft Cataclysm, and maybe some of the new systems that have come out since then are kind of similar to that. But so what I did was I set it to extremely narrow, and then there's camera adjustments similar to ESO. So in ESO, I have an add-on that lets you zoom in further than what the game has, so you can get a lot more camera angles in there. But tightening up the narrow angle lens and then using the vertical thing allowed for something like this level of zoom and thumbnail potential. We could put some text in here. We could fire this up in PowerPoint, put some text in here and stuff like that. But yeah, she was one of the characters I wanted to level up. The other character is an engineer who looks like a more modern soldier than the swords and sorcery that I usually see in the games that I play. But it's just really cool that a 10-year-old game has the ability to get cinematic like this and generate YouTube thumbnails that I expect. Of course, you can see the older graphics. If she tilts her head a little bit further, it'll look like her hair's in her mouth. I understand that some folks are like that with long hair. Sometimes they're accidentally like, you know, they have their hair in their mouth or something. Like, what? I don't understand that. But it's like, that's a cool screenshot. made a couple of adjustments to get it that way, and it works really, really well as a thumbnail. It's like Guild Wars 2, seriously. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 kind of reminds me of album-oriented rock. Groups like, say, Three Doors Down and stuff, where maybe they weren't all that special style-wise in terms of how they play, but if there wasn't like a music trend going on or something along those lines, then if there wasn't a music trend going on or something, then you basically would listen to that because it's okay, but there's always, a lot of other things that come out would probably be better than a lot of the stuff that Three Doors Down did back in the day. Don't know if there's any bands filling that niche nowadays, but either way, let's go take a look at the analytics. So the screenshot of Lauren Lockhart from Guild Wars 2 is one of the things one of the fish that I didn't want to get away, so to speak. I have this thing for leaving points hanging, so to speak, and not finishing what I was talking about. So I was thinking about that during the break, and I was like, let's come back and let's take a look at this stuff. It's not wrong to want YouTube to do its job. It's not wrong to want YouTube to not feel like a waste of time. And there's a reason for that. If we take a look at the last 28 days, probably want to go to like last 90 days or something to show, yeah, that really exposes things big time. Let's link up browser mode to Firefox, link browser mode to Mozilla Firefox, and then channel analytics so we don't pick up live control room in the process. Window title must match. That way you don't have weird stuff linking up and stuff like this. So we mentioned earlier that you can see what the algorithm is doing to your channel by looking for a huge spike in new viewers. People that are not returning viewers. In other words, your stuff's making its way around. This spike right here, of course, was the 2,700 view video about Nintendo 64 guy getting its first PlayStation. It actually registered as a moderate new viewers who return here. Well, yeah, YouTube, of course it's going to register as moderate and look a lot better than a lot of the other stuff that I have on this channel. The algorithm actually let it have some views. It's just like the system actually worked for a while until YouTube shut it off. And then we have this little boost here and there, but now we're back to the doldrums they were at before. And if you look at the last 28 days and we get rid of that outlier, here's what we see. The returning viewers are people that are watching on a regular basis as well as the subscribers. The new viewers outnumber the returning viewers. So, I mean, I'm critical of the YouTube algorithms as being too much of a middleman between YouTubers and their ability to have an audience. And there's a very good reason for that. I mentioned this earlier before the break. So we might as well finish our thought, finally, after all this time, before all that discussion with Nick about all that other stuff. I mentioned the duopoly, or the duality, so to speak, of people and technology. Your experience on these platforms is the direct result of some combination of those two. People and technology. People can do some of it. Technology is most likely going to do the lion's share of it because machine learning and AI and algorithms are the bread and butter of so many services these days, not just social media platforms. If you sign into Netflix or Amazon Prime Video, some robot system somewhere is going to try and find stuff so you can watch, so it can put that in front of you. This is why when the YouTube managers talk about the algorithm doesn't find viewers for videos, it finds videos for viewers, it's believable because it makes perfect sense. Services that don't have any user-generated component like Amazon or Netflix would not work and would not be a fun experience if they worked any other way. So you can't hate on the algorithms too much. So people and technology. If the technology wasn't a thing, in order to see stuff like what we see with the blue line here, you know what that would require? Subscribers obsessively watching my videos over and over and over again to pad the numbers if the system even lets them do that. Is that something you want to do? Jump on a hamster wheel and grind out views for some content creator? Let's suppose you actually wanted to do that. How many of the people that you're subscribed to on YouTube could you possibly do that for? Maybe 1 or 2, tops. So it is imperative that YouTube get this algorithm stuff working properly so that people essentially don't feel like they're wasting their time on here. Because there's numerous reasons why people sub to you and then never watch you again. There's numerous reasons why people won't click on your video, and your thumbnail is not going to be one of them. There's numerous reasons why technology needs to be the middleman here. Because people are going to see, people who like you are going to see your video, and then that's that. They're not going to want to watch obsessively over and over and over again. So the only way that you have your views go anywhere is if people can find it. That's what the argument has been about with all of this. People are sick of fighting the algorithm just to get their stuff seen. And yeah, oh, well, it finds videos for viewers, not viewers for videos. Well, how do you get picked up? It's interesting, though, because I have searched for some obscure topics, and I have seen small YouTubers topping the search results because there isn't a lot of stuff in that area. Now, people are like, oh, yeah, well, if you can corner a small topic, then you'll be fine. How big is the audience for that small topic? People say the same stuff about Twitch. People say the same crap about Twitch. They're like, find a game where you dominate the category. Yeah, but how big is the audience? Classic example. I'm not signed into Twitch on Firefox, but let me just open up another tab here. Twitch.tv. I almost typed twitch.v. Twitch.tv. Mute. Yeah, they got some music event on here now. Super Mario Kart. How big is the directory for the original? I can't even search for it. I have to click it in the results. All right, let's take a look at this. Browser mode to Firefox. Super Mario Kart on Twitch. Nobody's live. 31,000 followers. Videos recently published 9 hours ago. So people are actually streaming Super Mario Kart. Rarely. So if the original Super Nintendo version of Super Mario Kart is this small, what kind of audience do you think you're going to get if you're the only one in the directory? Oh, you'll corner the directory, but it's a small directory. You'll be a big fish in a small pond. You could theoretically hop from game to game if you could get people to actually be interested in more than one game at a time. That's a big, mean feat on YouTube nowadays to get people interested in more than one type of content with the way people are conditioned. But big fish in a small pond? So, and then there's no self-promotion. You go to Reddit, you go to people's Discords, you run into whiny streamers who are petrified that in the 2020s, an era where more people are getting into this type of stuff, that they might actually... I got a wire in the wrong place over here. Yeah. There we go. That thing pinches... The darn boom arm for this thing pinches wires. I gotta block that off before it cuts through the insulation. There's people, your Twitch streamers and whatnot, they will be utterly like, about the concept of other content creators being in their audience, even though that's more likely nowadays than ever before. And if you have like 1,000 concurrents or something, you get some little tiny Twitch affiliate that can barely get 5 people to watch them at any given moment. What kind of a threat are they to you? It makes you look petty and arrogant to be in that position and to be treating people like that. But that's the thing. I mean, people are going to be cynical of you. They're going to oppose you. If you take the people route, there's going to be all kinds of problems, which is why we want to be talking technology, which is why we need to talk about the technology doing all this for us. I don't get why this thing can't stay the right size here. Come on, OBS. Shrink. Can I only drag the right side down to the minimum size? Windows 10's window snapping is getting on my nerves. It was trying to make it the size of the whole screen when I just want it to be half a screen in size. Darn it. So yeah, here's the algorithm in action here. But if we back it up to 90 days, we see that Nintendo 64 guy finally gets his first PlayStation. Let's go to 7 days instead. Nothing exciting there. But if we go to Nintendo 64 guy gets his first PlayStation, the smoking gun is still there, that the video was turned off in the algorithm. Why? I kept the information around. It was one of the most liked, most watched, most commented by every measure. It was my best video in a very, very long time, and the algorithm completely shut it off. I was there when it happened. I took screenshots. I documented it. That's when I learned that the algorithm is a middleman. Already figured it was, but that was the smoking gun evidence that I was looking for. Whereas Nintendo 64 guy gets his first PlayStation, switch off to analytics, did everything you're supposed to do, put a clickable guide in there and the whole 9 yards. Here it is, still there all this time later. No views in the last 48 hours of that tech video. It launches, it goes viral, it gets shut off August 3rd, 2022. Reach, impressions go the exact same way. The impressions get shut off. That's 232 versus the views at 232. Everything gets shut off and it barely moves afterwards. Why? Engagement. Average view duration 322. Oh, it was smaller than usual. People usually, the general public usually has a 3 to 5 minute attention span. That's what I've been seeing on here for many, many years. But this, audience, there's the spike with the algorithms right there. 1,200 people discovered the channel because of that video, because the algorithms actually passed it around. The comments were abuzz, looked like they were alive, looked like human beings instead of robots. There were lots of likes, lots of talk, lots of discussion until YouTube shut it off. 91% of the all-time viewership, people that were not subscribed. (25 to 34, 35 to 44 dominant demographics. There is some nostalgia involved. So, I mean, I would expect these age groups to be the ones watching the most stuff. So, you can say what you want about me. You can make up whatever conspiracy theory or whatever that you want. You can have your own little theories or think whatever. It is not wrong for me to want YouTube to do its job. It's not wrong for me to want YouTube, or you for that matter. It's not wrong for me to want YouTube to be a place where nobody can become a somebody. And they don't have to resort to gimmicks or other crap in order to do that. And this doesn't need to be a flash in a pan. Get out of this and go to regular channel analytics. Overview. Last 90 days. There's the spike. It doesn't have to work this way. It also doesn't have to work this way. Here's the top content in the last 90 days. The washer video. On a channel called MultimediaJay, the washer video. Forza Horizon 4 at no graphics card. A joke little video I did with the built-in graphics on the on my system when I took the graphics card out. An uglier side of George Foreman grills. There you go. Doesn't have to be this. Doesn't have to be this way. This could be. Yep. This could be an environment where it didn't feel like a waste of time to spend hours making a video that won't get any views because the algorithm won't do anything with it. Except when you get lucky, rarely, and you see something like this until the system shuts you off. Same exact thing happened with YouTube Shorts, by the way. Let me actually go to my channel here. There actually are some things changing over on YouTube. There are some things changing. They're going to do a better split off of videos, live streams, and YouTube Shorts. But let me actually look at, I have a playlist for YouTube Shorts videos. I haven't made very many of them. Browser mode. Who's live? Oh, Night Game Chasers is live. I might check them out later. So I took some top moments from my tech videos and made YouTube Shorts out of them. It's a similar story. 57 views, 610 views, 1,400 views on a clip from a stream that I did on Twitch, actually. Logan shows up in the comments, hey, these YouTube Shorts are getting lots of views. This is YouTube. They shut you off. 6 down to 644, 40 views. 135, 44, 111, 118. Okay, some of these are looking a little better. But this spike at the very beginning is the same thing. 57, 610, 1,400 in a very short period of time. 644. I can get to that Harrow Storm in time. Mute. Look at this vertical video here. Analytics. Elder Scrolls Online, Tamriel Unlimited. See that? Look at this. Same exact thing. Since lifetime since published, audience. Oh, that wasn't that's a couple of years ago, so that wasn't working yet. Okay, the overview for the view progression. 0. Bam. What is it? March 16th of that year, published. 500 views. 18th, 879. Bam. It's like over 1,000 views by the 22nd. In just a couple of days, 1,000 views shut off. Now, it would have been nice. It would have been nice if this could have flattened out more naturally. But in both cases, we see something getting lots of views, then it just like that. Like something flipped the switch. I don't want to say someone flipped the switch because I know it's a computer that's doing all of this, but yeah, the YouTube algorithm is the middleman. YouTube's management has talked plenty of times about how they do things that manipulate discoverability of certain topics, certain things in the videos, and we know there's a deep scanner. We know there's a deep scanner that is analyzing even things like the audio in your videos. As evidenced by, search my channel for Quirky Pixel. I don't even know what she's doing any of these days. Search my channel for Quirky Pixel. She used to do meta commentaries about content creation and stuff. I think she moved on to some other stuff, though. Haven't heard anything in terms of what happened since. Looks like there's a little bit of waviness on the outbound bandwidth as well. So our first spike in the night after hours of streaming at about midnight. We'll have to see if it cut out. Here's what happened. You search my channel for Quirky Pixel, and you get a little something from Twitch DMCA Mageddon. I gotta find out, is that a stuff from streams or is that a stream? Put some proper labeling on that if that's a stream. I put dates on all the stream replays so you can tell that they're streams. Let's talk about YouTube's Deep Scanner. Has no metadata whatsoever. The only reason I mention, hey, Adobe Acrobat, 0 metadata. 0 metadata, 0 tags. I mentioned Quirky Pixel in the vlog by saying it. After months, it shows up in the search results from just the audio. I also know that the YouTube's systems will read text out of what you show on the screen. So I could theoretically make the search box really, really big. Maybe not that big. mushroom pizza. Now, if I leave this on the screen long enough, at some point the system reads that. The system reads that, and maybe you search my channel for mushroom pizza in a year or two, and you get sent to this replay. But the technology that YouTube is working with is some really wild stuff these days. It's really, really wild stuff. Why is the cursor constantly on? It'd be easier. I don't want to, there we go. Let's make it constantly off so it doesn't look like mushroom pizzal. But we just leave this on. Can we make it bigger? How big can we make this? Before, all right, mushroom pizza. Let's leave it on screen. So if we leave this on screen, eventually the deep scanner picks this up. I imagine at some point you'll be able to search my channel for mushroom pizza, and you will get this this stream in the results. You will get the stream replay of this in the results. DMCA and only DMCA. Well, at the rate we're going, you'll be able to search for DMCA and get this as well. Yeah, let's just leave this on the screen and just talk about, you know, the technology that YouTube has at their disposal. It's amazing stuff. It does solve a problem of what to do with all this crap ton of stuff. The question is how well it works. How well the darn thing, how well that the darn stuff works. That's the question. Oh, my Discord's not auto starting either, so the folks stopping by are not coming over from seeing me live in Discord, because I'm not even running Discord right now. But yeah, how long we want to leave this on here? Let's find something else to talk about for a bit while we leave mushroom pizza in the search box on the screen to just mess with things even more. At some point, you will be able to search my channel for mushroom pizza and see the replay of this stream, because we left it in the search box long enough, and the thing that reads text, maybe Space Hay as well. There'll be a reference to Space Hay, and maybe community will work. Definitely DMCA, I don't know. But at some point, this technology is really bizarre. But it'd just be interesting if it ever got to like the point where it was 100%. So right now, from what I understand, text and description are the biggest sources of metadata for stuff. But yep, let's just leave this on screen. Folks, the chat is completely open tonight, so we're going to talk about some other things related to this. We're more than welcome to. But I'm just going to leave this on screen for a bit, this mushroom pizza in the search box, because at some point, that's going to get read by some system, and you're going to be able to search my channel for mushroom pizza and see that. It is really bizarre like that. But yeah, it's not a problem for you to want YouTube to do their job and get the technology right. Not a problem. Let's take a look at some of the things that have been going on in the chat as well. Previously, it's stuff along those lines. Shorts can be saved in a playlist. I wish shorts could be saved on a playlist, would make a playlist. Clips need to be treated that way too, Dan. Clips need to be treated that way as well. Here's the weird thing about the clip system on YouTube. You can't do anything as of September 18th, 2022. You can do more with YouTube clips on another platform than you can on YouTube. Can't put them into playlists. Can't display them anywhere. You can't even put them in community posts. They show up as links. They don't generate a preview. But if you go to Twitter, you can put them in tweets. If you go over to Twitter, you can put them in tweets and they will populate. You can put them in Discord and they will populate. I don't know where else you'd want to paste those things. Do they work on a personal blog? Who knows? For the people that even still read personal blogs. Yeah, the people that even still read personal blogs and stuff. All right, I think we've left this on screen long enough. We've left that on screen long enough. Let me do a Control-0 on this, and let's go over to Twitter. Let's look at some other things here. Probably change. Hey, why don't we search for mushroom pizza? We've had it in there, so let's see what the results are. Ooh, okay, now it's making me hungry. I'm closing this browser window. 4-cheese mushroom pizza, my oven hack and best pizza dough recipe from Marion's Kitchen. 33,000, etc. What happens if I search for the Atari 7800? I'm trying to figure out what was the... I actually got some smaller channels in some of the results. And by smaller channel, I meant less than 100 views, depending on the topic. It's just sad to see, you know, All right, never mind. All these SOP videos dominating the heck out of everything. All right, so yeah, it'll be nice when the technology works properly. But yeah, YouTube clips. Gotta knock it off with the YouTube clips thing, not being very usable on YouTube itself. Take a hint from Twitch. Seriously. Better yet, how about we have YouTube do what Twitch doesn't seem to want to do? Turn clips as like a sister project to shorts. Yeah, I guess there's a way to convert to clips to shorts, or it's being worked on or something. But you're talking like a horizontal format with the clips. There's got to be a way to do more with clips on YouTube. Put them into playlists, do other stuff. It's just like, there's got to be a way to do more with this kind of stuff. Let me see. There's been a few features. We want to talk about any of the other features that have been bragged about with YouTube's folks that have been doing the party thing over. Yeah, 5 partying faces. What do we got? Discord's developing forums and stuff. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. It's interesting we talk about Twitch here. Let's link up to Google Chrome. It won't pull the live control room automatically anymore because it mandates now that the window exactly match. Speaking of algorithms, they're here. Or should I say they're there? There you go. Algorithms have come to Twitch. And we've got to think a bit about this here. This is from when I first saw it go live. I guess it's getting rolled out to certain channels, and it was finally my channel's turn. But by default, it's based on recommended for you, and I think watch history is part of that. So streamers like Vindalia and JustCath, who I've watched the most, are towards the top. So, but the default setting is recommended for you. Who knows what this is going to do, especially when you had all of these streamers who were riding the wave, or should I say parking their ass on their critical mass, riding the wave of being popular, always topping categories. The directories have already been doing this, defaulting to recommended for you for so many people, unless you specify alphabetical or viewers high to low. But the default is to let the algorithm pick stuff for you. And it is pretty good at what it does. But this just, it is pretty good at what it does, putting what I've been watching probably the most up towards the... I actually have to see if it is based on watch time and not on things like engagements and stuff. So I'm probably going to pick a streamer that I don't normally watch who's live when I go to sleep and just leave the stream going all night. Maybe like the kittens thing, that adorable kittens thing, which is a 24-hour feed of like some cat place over in Japan or something. Keep that going while I sleep and see if that counts as hours and hours and hours of watch time and me looking interested. So the algorithm puts the kittens up at the top. But here it is. Waiting for the 45-minute Devin Nash video on this one. More algorithms. Twitch going in the direction of YouTube. Of course, this isn't really Twitch going in the direction of YouTube. It's Twitch catching up with the rest of the social media world. Restart the phone. Twitch catching up with the rest of the social media world who's been playing games with algorithms for years. Yeah, there we go. There we go, folks. Right there. Be interesting. Yeah, and you know, it's interesting with some things going on with, like, say, the ad incentive program over there, where instead of letting people have more control over what ads play, like YouTube does with partners, Twitch streamers are incentivized to run more mid-rolls on the platform that's more aggressive towards ad blockers. It's going to be very interesting seeing what happens with this. What does it do to the numbers? Because now your critical mass is no longer your ticket to topping categories and being discovered. How's that going to work? How is this going to work on Twitch? Twitch, trying to figure out how to say this. Twitch is all tied up in a lot of things. One of them is their business decisions to be focused, laser focused on live, along with all the baggage and the ups and downs of live streaming. Twitch is focused on live first, to the extent that if you're not live, your content's dead. The video support on Twitch is next to non-existent. Most of the stuff that might be able to go somewhere, like highlights and clips, are heavily limited. And then uploads that you get when you become an affiliate, forget it. The UI doesn't even do anything with them. You have to do lots of extra clicks to get to the uploads. That's what killed the attempt at becoming a gaming portal that they did many years ago in the middle of the 2010s, when they actually allowed people to upload videos, and they got a whole bunch of commentary videos and let's plays and stuff, and people that weren't streaming like myself were uploading videos to Twitch to use it as a gaming alternative to YouTube back in the days when I knew absolutely nothing about the numbers differences between these platforms and the size of their audiences, as well as the behavior of their user base. But, wow, this is going to be something. So Twitch is wrapped up in their own decisions. They're also wrapped up in the culture they've built. How exactly, if you thought that people finding you on Twitch was hard before, now Twitch has the same, this is the same question I'm asking about the YouTube algorithm. The algorithm doesn't find an audience for your videos. It finds videos for viewers. How do you get picked up? If you don't have any viewers yet on Twitch, how do you in any way show up in any of these? It's a chicken egg thing. How do you get started? How do you get established? So the problem with a system like this, where let's say watch time is what drives the algorithm, and so they will promote whoever you're watching the most and expressing most of an interest in. Probably the most primitive algorithm I can think of, because Twitch doesn't have much for engagement. There's chat, and that's the bulk of it. The rest costs money. Bits, subs, cheers. There isn't a like button, much less a dislike button. There isn't a comments section. There's chat. Maybe you can, check your engagement by how much you're talking to the streamer. But what if you just want to watch somebody? What if you don't want to get caught up in whatever they're blabbering about to their chat? What if you don't want the parasocial crap? What if you don't want the fake relationship? This person feels like a friend because I've been talking to them for a long time, sort of. They don't really know you. But they don't really know you because you're just a name in the chat. You have to go out of your way to introduce them to more of what you do if they don't slap you with a ban for self-promoting. And then ironically enough, there are some people on Twitch that hate people. They got popular because they're pretty or whatnot in front of the camera, but they actually hate meeting people. They really hate people. They only put up with the people that chat with them insofar as they're chatting. It's weird. They try to cover this up, but if you do some digging, you'll eventually find someone who's like this. So it's not always the case. It's just because they might notice what you say and respond to it, that they in any way want to socialize. It might just be part of the game to them. Well, yeah, I respond to like this amount of chat messages per hour to look like you're engaged, da-da-da. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Because I don't know how it's a chicken egg situation. To get to the top in these algorithmically driven lists, people have to have an interest in you or watch you or engage or whatever. So you're not going to be in the list until people, how do you get it started? There's probably going to be something that goes out to the partners and other people that are like, go somewhere where you can be discovered. Like where? Like, the stuff that small YouTubers like myself have been complaining about, I'm hearing about lots of different places nowadays. There's people out there that are saying that Instagram is useless now if you're not making reels. Like, what the heck? I can't do pictures on Instagram anymore. The algorithm won't pick them up. I think all they care about is reels now. There's TikTok, but TikTok has all the weird security things going on. And, government agencies actually ban folks like the military from using it. There's weird stuff going on with TikTok, even though TikTok is basically a new YouTube these days. It's the reason why YouTube Shorts are a thing. Little vertical video smartphone platform. You don't have to buy a $1,000 DSLR to get in on the action. Little vertical video smartphone platform now has a 10-minute limit on the longest TikToks. YouTube's old limit for length. TikTok, they also have TikTok Live, which they're aggressively trying to promote. TikTok is a YouTube competitor that we've been looking for. At least like 10, 15 years ago. They have to get to the point where they can have a lack of a limit, no weird bans because of automated systems before they can really challenge YouTube. And of course, there's Facebook, the sleeping giant, like I was even talking about with Vindalia's Discord earlier today, although most of the people that watch her play ESO, and she's playing Guild Wars 2, I think, tonight or whenever her next stream is. Most of the people who watch, which I think they're not really interested in this nerd stuff. And that's something I gotta, I have to be respectful of as well. The casual recreational streamer who just wants to make a couple of friends and play League of Legends to get on stream or something like that. People do this stuff for different reasons, and we got to respect that. But, wow. Yeah, that is the big news of the week, though, is more algorithms on Twitch. Welcome to our world, Twitch streamers. You already get mad about stupid stuff a lot as it is. Yeah, hope you don't get too much more mad and stuff along those lines. So what else did we have here? YouTube creators, we've heard you loud and clear. Highly requested updates coming to channel pages this fall, including splitting content out by long form, shorts, and live. From Jake Curtis, one of the folks in charge of other things that they're working on here. Allow all, don't miss this, those of you that want to stream on here. Allow all is now available for channel for redirects. So if you allow all channels to redirect, that's supposed to make it like Twitch's rating feature. So it's kind of the inverse of Twitch. You can block raids on Twitch, but by default, people can raid you. On YouTube, you have to opt into it. But at least the functionality is there. Again, just because Twitch does things one way doesn't mean YouTube has to do other things as well. Let's see here. Why don't we actually do a reaction to the Creator Insider video talking about these kinds of things. Before we do that, though, I should probably mention that video I made earlier about how multi-streaming was overrated. That was a pastiche of Devin Nash, but those kinds of chat videos, I think, are going to be the video answer to these chat streams. More focused, more organized, about a single topic, and edited very tightly together, so that way, people can just get the information and do stuff with it. It's a format that I haven't really worked with on this channel. Mostly been doing the vloggy type tech videos that I do and this type of stuff. But there have been times when I've streamed and I'm not covering current events like this. And I think that I might have seen something better on the video side of things. There are like college professor types that do lectures and then do like the, like documentaries and stuff, or Discovery Channel or whatever. They put like photo montages of videos and stuff like that onto their lecture or whatnot. So you get informed by the lecture and you have something to watch while they're saying it. Ryan Reeves has a lot of that kind of stuff over on his channel. Been watching his channel for a very long time. Of course, he talks about things like religious history and stuff, but there's some medieval history in there as well for people of a more secular persuasion like that. So let's see. Let's queue up the Creator Insider video and round things out here. At 12:55 a.m. Is V doing anything over on Twitch yet? I want to catch the Guild Wars 2 part of her stream. Yes, she is, and she's at the top of... Oh, she's at the... Click above to reorder your follow channels. No thanks, Twitch. I want to take your algorithms for a spin. Well, let's take a look at the before we close Chrome. Will it take it as is? No, it won't. It is very, very window specific. I got to relink to the same browser because I've changed the instance. Here's my bar right. Here's my bar right now. This is the new Twitch with the algorithms. What this looks like. The stuff on my channel is like, why I'm not a Twitch streamer. So I'll just zoom it in to the point where it closes here. Vindalia, with only 75 concurrents doing the ESO part of her stream, is on top. Why is Dash Ducks in second place? Is it because I haven't watched a lot of these too much or something like that? Well, I've actually spent some time. Would you like to be a ducky too? Dash Ducks, that's basically the duck pond of Twitch. It's the duck pond of Twitch. It's just ducks in a pond, literally. I guess because I've fallen, it might be based on watch time then, because I've fallen asleep to this duck pond as a nice relaxing, kind of like those 10-hour like river videos on YouTube that I see in my feeds these days, because I fall asleep with them and it racks up the watch time, and YouTube thinks I always want to watch that stuff. I want to watch something about this video game. Let's see what's on YouTube. Hey, listen to all these relaxing rivers to help you sleep. I just got up. Nina Neon, Vietnamese streamer, did a lot of stuff with she did a lot of stuff with Jay Streezy when he was stuck in Vietnam during the lockdown period and stuff. Bob Ross, yes, that Bob Ross from PBS. Marathon art show marathon. I think I have slept a few times with his stream rolling on a weekend or something. Lakari is a cool guy too. Marine Mail, they were basically wildlife cams. Sweet Priyaz at the bottom. She's from like something that happened earlier. Just hanging out, come keep me company. She's playing Fall Guys, small streamer and whatnot. But yeah, this is the new world. This is the new world of Twitch, where who you show interest in or watch the most or whatever will top the list versus people versus whoever's the biggest always being on top, which in this case would be Bob Ross and Lakari. It's an interesting combination if you know anything at all about those two personalities. Lakari and Bob Ross are very, very, very different. Let's queue up whatever's been going on with Creator Insider over on YouTube. Let's queue up Creator Insider here. Not YouTube Studio. Take me to my darn channel, because I want to take a look at do a reaction to some of their recent announcement videos, including the channel page improvements. Touchcast nudity and sexual content community guidelines update. What the heck is that? New features, the YouTube manage mobile live streams and live control. Oh, I am so behind on this. Okay, it's reaction time. Let's cue everything up. Features. They're also working on something where you can buy stuff through live shopping on YouTube. I would say that this is at some point going to be an answer to Twitch drops. So let's say that you play a game with a lot of microtransactions or something. I wonder if at some point YouTube will add something for the whole YouTube gaming thing, where you buy something like crown crates for ESO while watching someone stream on YouTube. First, people have to actually stream ESO on YouTube besides the people making videos for that to happen. Yeah, well, why don't we link back up to Firefox and look at the sad state of the Elder Scrolls. Well, it looks like the Elder Scrolls Online still has... Oh, they're having directory issues again. Elder Scrolls Online. If I want to stream ESO, what category? The OG game. Oh, so the OG game is now considered Tamriel Unlimited. Link to Firefox. Browser mode, link to Firefox. Let's check this out. Link back to Fire. Here is this is the directory on YouTube for ESO. This is the directory on YouTube for ESO. Live, nothing. Recent, nothing. Is that because everything's under High Isle, which doesn't even have a thumbnail? Why is Commander King showing up here? ESO High Isle. Okay, this makes more sense. But there's no live. Recent. People making commentary videos and PvP videos about ESO are putting it in the High Isle category. YouTube, we got to get rid of this. You're fragmenting the hell out of your directories way too much and causing problems like this. No freaking way. It's got to go away. It just needs to be Elder Scrolls Online. Full stop. I think World of Warcraft has that too. This directory system. Well, let's see if Forza Horizon 5 still works. That had the exact same problem earlier. Nope, I am not getting why everybody stopped playing Forza Horizon 5 2 months ago from Ryzon. Hey, it's McDonald's. Well, there's your ad impression. Oh, so there is a directory for Forza Horizon 5, but I can't search for it directly. So who's live? Forza Horizon 5. What kind of characters are those? Forza from Music Dump. Two concurrents. Pro Kid Latvia live. Forza Morning Coffee in Mexico. 1 concurrent. So even if even if YouTube makes these kinds of systems, and stuff like that, even if YouTube makes these sorts of systems with the whole buying things thing, what's the point? if the game streaming scene outside of either popular streamers or popular games remains this quiet. Way too quiet. Let's queue up for Creator Insider. The connection's gotten unstable now. This is why, like, the first time I've seen it do it all night. 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I'll send some information off to the tech folks. Since it's been about 12 hours. Nah, actually, the tech was here like 2, 3 in the afternoon. So, and there was no problem back then. Oh, I wonder what's going on at this time of night. All right, okay, everything's smoothing out again. This also might be extra data being sent because I'm loading lots of web pages. So that might be throwing off the numbers on this. Not Creative Insights. Creator Insider. All right. Let's queue up some Creator Insider videos, play some catch-up, beginning with
Hello, Insiders.
And turn off the closed captioning, darn it. Let's check out this live shopping thing that they've been working on lately. No, not that. React mode. There we go. It looks like it's still set up from last go-around. Except we got to move a few things. So let's see. What the... Can I still use Alt and stuff? I'm getting all kinds of stuff in OBS now with this new OBS setup. The new OBS has a different UI and it looks a little different. Let's set up React mode for this. The bar will actually disappear once we start doing this here. I'm getting like number of pixels and everything. OBS is becoming very, very scientific in how it operates. All right, let's do some reactions here. Let's do some reactions to some of these Creator Insider videos, beginning with their one on live shopping. Set the volume all the way up.
Hello, Insiders. I am Kyle, a partner manager here at YouTube. So,
hi, Kyle.
Last month, we announced a new integration with Shopify and YouTube to give creators in YPP aiming to sell their products on YouTube and more.
Okay, that's a problem right there. YouTube Partner Program still has the steepest entry requirements, and I still think it's outdated because it's tied too much to advertising. We continue.
Seamless way to do so. If you missed that video, we'll link it down below. Today, we want to give creators a more holistic view of the live shopping experience and how to optimize. Let's get into it. So what is live shopping? Live shopping in YouTube lets you showcase your products and exclusive offers through real-time interactive experiences that allow your community to shop what they're seeing without them ever having to leave the live stream.
No, that's kind of cool. I mean, if you're doing like an arts and crafts stream or like Etsy or something like that, I could totally imagine channels running off of this. Like, hey, you want one of these things? Here's some links. So there's definitely something that there is something here, but people might, I don't know. But it is kind of an interesting idea. And this is one of those things where, remember, in corporate America and business in general, there's a rule. If not you, then who? If YouTube doesn't pursue this kind of integration, who is going to pursue it and then have something that YouTube doesn't? There have been numerous YouTube competitors over the years, like Rever, that were able to carve out a niche for themselves very specifically because of that.
Shopping drives a unique sense of urgency and compels them to tune in for can't miss out moments like new product announcements, exclusive deals, and limited time offers.
Don't forget, QVC streams on YouTube, by the way. Remember, we're talking mainstream media and traditional media and stuff like that. QVC streams live on YouTube. Imagine being able to buy off QVC from your phone while watching them stream on YouTube. So it's not just people making crafts for Etsy.
Eligible creators can showcase products via multiple features, including tagging products to live streams, pinning products to live chat, and the use of the product shelf.
It's not just merch from streamers that's involved with this.
So who is eligible for this? Well, all YPP creators with their own merch store or a storefront like Spring or Shopify enabled are eligible for live shopping.
For easy QVC payments sorry. My stepmother used to watch QVC a lot when I was growing up, even though she never bought anything half the time. So I'm very, very familiar with home shopping channels on TV. It was the analog version of showrooming, where you go poking around on the internet. Or no, showrooming was when you went to a brick and mortar store then bought online. But when I go to Newegg just to look at stuff, anyways.
But an important note. product tagging in live shopping is not eligible for music channels, while pinning products and shelf are still available.
Oh, well, why not? Either way.
Viewers, will leave a link down below with more info on where live shopping is available and where we're planning to expand more in the future. So let's dive a little deeper into the live shopping features. First things first, you're going to want to link your store and set up your live stream. Once you have that set up, you can enable product tagging.
So this font down here, isn't this a default font in some video software? I think I've seen this in so many YouTube videos over the years that it's like seeing Calibri in Microsoft Office or Times New Roman.
Eligible creators can tag and organize products from a store owned by them. For example, if you have a creator website, a Spring account, or a Shopify account, you can then use that for the live stream using the picker in YouTube Studio. To select products for a live stream, go to the live control room. Below the live stream preview, click on the shopping tab. Next, to open the customize tool, click.
Please tell me I don't have that. I have nothing to sell, but no, I don't have that. Good. I don't have any merch or anything. I'll probably have to set it up at a channel level before it becomes available anyways.
Customize. Search for any of your available products and then drag and drop up to 30 products.
I can tell you though, I've been very, very tempted to make some kind of merch using my PowerPoint skills and graphics stuff. So there's certain things I couldn't do. Like I couldn't do a Delosaurus coffee mug or something for obvious reasons, intellectual property. But if I had something like, if I was a graphic artist and stuff and, you know, I had something that people liked and they wanted it on a mug or something, I can totally imagine doing something like this.
If you want to remove a product, simply click the trash can next to that product. Finally, click save and your changes will be reflected in the individual video level settings. This leads us to our next feature, pinning products to the live chat and the product shelf. When a creator pins a product, viewers will see that product at the top of their live chat during the live stream. When a viewer clicks on a product, this will open up a panel below the live stream with more details and options to purchase the product. Now you'll want to start a live stream using the live control room. Click on the shopping tab below the live stream preview and select one item to promote. Click and drag it to the pin products panel and then pin the product. And then if you need to unpin an item, simply click unpin in the live stream preview. Now, a few things to keep in mind during
Logan, introducing the MultimediaJay water bottle, lol. What would I even put on that? The blue J logo from PowerPoint 7 years ago? A lot of that stuff is very long overdue to be updated. I mean, the picture of me with the old sunglasses and everything's from 2015. Holy crap. Just been so busy with like offline work and stuff like that.
During your live stream. Products you selected and tagged will be shown in the View Products label within the product list and the product shelf underneath the live stream. You can also pin and unpin products in the chat during the live stream itself.
You know, what if you did like stealth marketing and stuff? You had a chat stream where you chatted with people and then you talked about how you could make stuff and things like that. Like, what would you like to make? What would you folks buy a lot of? Maybe have some like kind of like merchandising contest or something wherever whatever got the most votes went into production. And what if there's channels out there that do that, where the streamer starts off just chatting with people, gets to know what they like and stuff, and maybe they're into arts and crafts type stuff, and then they could utilize this in order to generate like stuff that might sell or something like that for like custom gifts or something. I think there's potential in here somewhere. Although this feature does seem like a solution chasing a problem, but I don't think YouTube has very much choice in this matter, because if they didn't do this, somebody else would, and you know, there's that whole mess again.
Lastly, creators can also add special discounts and promotions to each pinned product. Next, let's talk about some best practices. So here are a few ways that you can optimize your audience. First is to promote your live stream. You can share the broadcast URL on your own social channels and ensure that users know when to tune in at least 48 hours before your live stream.
One of the worst things about me streaming is I never have a schedule. So I have nobody to blame but myself and people don't know when to show up. Well, that's why hybrid streaming can be a thing on YouTube where you basically make a video in disguise.
You can also create a channel trailer or a teaser video to help promote the event and then feature that trailer video on the featured video spot.
What if you made a YouTube video that like introduced a product and then there was a link to buy it at the end, like introducing the blah, blah, blah coffee mug or whatever.
It's also a really good idea to connect your social media accounts to your channel for easy sharing and to help inform fans. It's also a good idea to create a live shelf to display your upcoming and live events that are present on your channel. We also recommend adding an associated website. This website will help us improve the quality of search results and verify your channel as the official representation of your brand on YouTube. It's also a great idea to customize your channel art to display information about the particular live event, and you can use cards and call to action extensions to link to the live event and help users set reminders. And lastly, of course, is using community posts to extend your social strategy. Leverage polls and interactivity to invite users to be part of the event's content itself. Now, a few more things to think about during your live stream.
Really, I really don't know what to think about any of this stuff, except that font looks totally like a default font from something.
We recommend that you continuously interact with users through the live chat and live polls. We also recommend using live redirects to build excitement and promote your live stream. Once your live stream ends, autoplay will move your viewers to the premiere or live stream of your choice. Leverage chat to keep conversations brand safe. You can use YouTube features to manage the chat and keep the experience and conversation brand safe. You can do this by creating a list of blocked keywords, enabling hold for review, and assign a human moderator for manual review. You can also enable slow mode, which limits how often each individual user can comment by setting the time limit between those comments. You can also enable live commentary for invite-only chat. Another thing worth considering is subscriber-only live chat, to restrict posting chat messages to only your subscribers. You can specify how long viewers need to be subscribed before posting. There's a minimum of 1 minute here, and that can be used to encourage subscription from your live stream viewers.
And block really stupid spam bots.
So you did it. Your live stream is over. What next? After the stream is over, make sure to archive the live stream to capture any buzz and allow for repeat viewing. We also recommend adding chapters to your live stream so viewers can navigate around.
So here's the thing. Yeah, I do all of that. And there's a very specific reason why I go for the hybrid streaming model. It's a better use of the audience's time. And podcasts and radio shows have been doing this for a very long time. So I go to like a radio show that I used to listen to or a podcast, go to the on-demand archive, load it up in Democracy Player, later Miro or iTunes or something, download the latest episodes, stuff like that, including stuff that was done live. A lot of Twitch shows with Leo Laporte were streamed live and then became available as podcasts. It's only in the world of Twitch where we're like, well, streams are worthless. Nobody watches VODs. Again, don't get brainwashed and fishbowled by something that by a drama-ridden 140 million MAU high school of a platform turns into some kind of normal for its people. There's a big world out there that's way bigger. All right, enough freeze framing this guy.
We hope this guide gives creators a better understanding of the features that are available to them and serves as a way to optimize your viewer experience. We'll be sure to keep you posted as we launch more features in the live space. And as always, leave your questions and comments below and keep it real.
So the whole thing with that is, imagine if I was an artist. You know, I made some graphic design or something that people really liked and wanted to like put on mugs or t-shirts or something along those lines. That would actually be an interesting way to monetize works of art instead of having to make copies of it and like sell it at an art show or something. People only have limited space on their walls for paintings if I'm a painter. But what about space in their closet for shirts? Sometimes I wonder if the starving artists really have to starve, so to speak. That's a cliche, by the way. It's a thing talking about how artists don't make a lot of money unless they're super famous. It applies to way more than just art, by the way. Happens in music and entertainment as well. So the next one that I'm playing catch up on here is a discussion about managing mobile live streams in LCR, Live Control Room. What's the full name of this? Key metrics for posts in the main app and more. So it looks like somebody's covering for Connor with the weekly news update. This is from 2 weeks ago. So the next one, the research tab improvements one, got 44,000 views. Creator Insider is a channel that's run by YouTube employees.
Hello.
It's run by YouTube employees, but it is not an official YouTube channel. The YouTube creators channel is the official YouTube channel that is directed at YouTubers. Link up for React mode, and let's see here. Manage mobile live streams in LCR for the IRL streamers out there.
Hello Insiders, I'm Lewis, a policy analyst on Connor's team, and I'll be filling in for Connor this week.
Called it!
So as Connor always says, if it's Tuesday, it's
News Day.
So let's get into this week's updates. First up, let's talk about a live launch. Up until now, creators have only had the ability to moderate live chat in the YT mobile app and could not edit or manage any mobile livestream created via the YT mobile app creator in LCR or YT Studio.
So it's a platform thing where the two, mobile versus desktop, there's a bit of a thing where they didn't overlap. I should mention, by the way, this guy's lighting and how he sounds tells me he sat in front of a camera, used the room light, and used the built-in microphone on the camcorder. Very old school, yeah, or camera. Very old school, but this kind of dark picture and whatnot is just an example of why lighting is a thing. You can get more bang for buck with lighting than to make things look better than with super expensive stuff.
We're excited to announce we're launching the ability for creators and delegates to schedule and manage or edit live and upcoming mobile streams in LCR and YT Studio. This includes editing the stream's metadata using live chat features like polls and pinned products, or moderate live chat. The ability to schedule and manage mobile live streams in LCR has been a long time feature request from partners, creators, and artists who are creating live streams with production teams or management teams. This will be live to all eligible creators by end of week. Leave us your comments and questions below. Up next, we've recently added key metrics on posts to main app analytics on Android and iOS.
Oh, so for the post section for community posts. So community posts are actually something I'm a big fan of on YouTube because it is basically YouTube acknowledging the sleeping giant that is Facebook. It is a crappier version of the non-video way of doing updates to your audience that Facebook has by default. Remember, if the sleeping giant ever woke up and the blue team threw its weight around, we're talking about a platform that has text updates, pictures, albums for the pictures, videos, short form, and live streaming all on one platform, and Meta is working on integrating everything together. I was actually looking at one of their how-tos and their help files for people making, essentially content creators on Facebook, the signs that the sleeping giant is waking up. And they were talking about using Facebook stars, the cheer currency from Facebook gaming, on videos and live streams. I think Facebook might be working on stars becoming available to everything. So you can dono pretty much everything. Not to say they wouldn't, not surprising they do this. YouTube has super thanks, so people can actually dono after the fact videos, in addition to the super chats that are available on streams and premieres. So it makes perfect sense. So yeah, the sleeping giant is stirring. Let me make sure I remember to like all of these videos that I am doing reactions to. Yeah. Posts, they have their own page. About time. But posts is something that's a lot more primitive than its Facebook counterpart. Way more primitive. The community tab is something that is a lot more primitive than the competing product. If the sleeping giant woke up, YouTube would be at a disadvantage in that area. We continue.
Up until now, information on Shorts, VOD, and live performance was available on Studio Mobile.
Video on demand as an adjective, not as a made-up jargon word that really means videos. Welcome to YouTube. Tourists, be sure to pick up an overpriced gift from the gift shop located on the main concourse level.
And with this launch, we are bringing parity to main app. The goal is to help creators understand how one content type performs over others on their channel.
There's also a revamp of the channel pages coming up that's going to split things out better between video, live streams, and shorts.
Let us know if you have any questions below. And lastly, a note for me. I'm going to be starting a new series focused on monetization policy questions from you. So make sure you leave your questions in the comments.
Cool. The don't get demonetized guy. Where were you 5 years ago? Hopefully he gets some ring lights or something and stops using room lights. Although it looks like, based on the reflections, he has something going here. But with how dark it is, that looks like a tungsten bulb hanging in the ceiling. I don't know. Everybody's setup is different. Shoot, when I first started watching these, we had a bunch of people doing these that were working from home using the built-in cameras and microphones on their laptops. So, the Zoom call era.
That's it for this week's news flash. From the creators of YouTube to the YouTube creators. We'll see you soon.
Keep it real. That's the tagline anyways. When am I getting in the recommendations? Oh, people in British Parliament behaving badly. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of that with the whole thing about the Queen this past week. All right, here's the one that got 44 grand.
Hey, Winsiders.
Little and a false start. 10-yard penalty, still first down. I don't watch a lot of football. Reaction mode. This is the big one. New features for the YouTube Analytics Research tab.
Hey, Insiders!
Hi!
Last year, we gave a sneak peek on a feature we're building in YTA called Search Insights, or the Research tab. If you're unfamiliar with the feature, we'll leave it in the description. Today, we want to share the results of our initial experimentation and the future of the feature. Let's get into it. As a recap, the goal of the Research tab is to help creators identify potential topics of interest and content gaps to inform their content strategy. In April this year, we launched Search Insights on desktop, from which we saw positive results with over 80% of creators in the experiment expressing satisfaction with the tool.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. That's like a digital focus group type thing. If you learn anything about marketing, one of the things that you do with marketing is you do like figure out what is an unmet need in the community and try and make products and services to meet that need, which is how you sell stuff. People see value in what you have to offer. They have money, you have stuff, they give you money, you give them stuff. Simple, basic stuff here. So the research tab on YouTube is really awesome if it can pick up enough data to recommend stuff that your audience might be curious about, but they can't find what exactly they're looking for with what's already out there. Now, I think it was searching for some kind of obscure topic related to either electronics or some around the house type thing, some DIY. And I actually had one of the top videos in the search results with only 77 views. I'd have to look through my watch history to see what that was. It was probably the lowest view. It didn't follow the SOPs either. It was an old school YouTube video, not like this tightly edited together, jump cut ridden vlog type thing, which was a thing about 10 years ago, by the way. It's not something new in the 2020s for this type of stuff. Anyways, let's check this out here.
Since then, we've been working on expanding the feature to more languages and markets. Given the strong interest, we are introducing a new experiment, bringing additional insights to Studio Mobile. There are 3 additional features we want to highlight.
So a platform parity thing between computers and mobile devices.
The first improvement is around watch interest. Currently, Search Insights on desktop only shows what viewers are searching for, but now we are adding watch activity for a topic. Creators can now review top, rising, or recent videos in a topic so you can get a sense for what's new. The second addition is to indicate your audience's watch activity in a topic. Often when creators are thinking of a new topic, they might wonder if there is an existing interest in related topics. Now we share that information with you. The last improvement that we're working on is personalized insights for you based on your audience's unique interests or your saves. We saw a lot of creators use the save feature on desktop, and we have built it into mobile as well. We'll use that as a signal of your interest. Creators often get inspired by videos in adjacent niches, so we highlight relevant topics or areas adjacent to your current content.
This is basically what a lot of this technology does. Is it automates something that it tries to automate something that people would normally do on their own. It's like, okay, if people are already interested in topic A, what is a good topic B for them to branch off to? How do you get computers to learn how to predict that when you're talking about one of the biggest search engines in the world that's in play here? This guy is also a really good speaker, by the way. I hope he does a lot more discussions, and I hope he gets a better microphone setup than the built-in mic on the camera that he's using. Get rid of that room echo or try to edit it out. The problem with a lot of noise filters is if you don't have a good setup, it makes you sound like you're underwater. Old school, bad MP3, like, what was it, 64 kilobits per second back in like 99, 2000 or something that made the drums sound like they were underwater. Then there was that Creed video where the guy literally was playing drums underwater. I think it was My Sacrifice or something. Okay, enough 2000s nostalgia.
These are just some of the improvements we're thinking about with regards to the future of content research. We hope to run this experiment for a limited time, collect all your feedback, and bring the feature back to a broader set of creators.
See, this is what I really like. This is what I really like about YouTube with knowing that despite this is why I say I draw a very solid line between the technical issues when the algorithm doesn't seem to be doing what you'd think it would be doing, and the hard work from the people trying to polish it up so it works better. There is definitely enthusiasm for these things that they're working on. But like anything that's computerized, we know there can be issues. It's just a matter. Look, rewind the clock back to the middle of the last decade. How did anybody know anything about how YouTube worked? Speculation and conjecture. To have all these employees giving people an inside look into what this company is working on and how it's going to affect things. Yeah, sure, maybe it makes things a little flaky in terms of whether you want to be a full-time content creator, because you never know when some technical issue might interfere with your livelihood, but it's good to see the enthusiasm and zeal from people like these folks. So between him and Rachel talking about discoverability, I think we're talking about an incredibly enthusiastic, incredibly transparent group of people working on what could be an incredibly good product. As opposed to some little Twitch affiliate with like 70 concurrents is the closest thing to that. Yeah, I'm talking about Zach Bussey. Closest thing to that over in Purple Land. And maybe you'll get a non-generic speech at a TwitchCon once a year. Or they have like some kind of patch notes thing every couple of weeks. Creator Insider uploads multiple videos per week talking about what's going on, as opposed to something akin to a podcast every other week. It's great, though, to dismantle the conjecture and the speculation that people will use to connect the dots when there's nothing official to connect the dots with. This kind of stuff is one of the best things to happen to YouTube in the past decade. And I hope there's a lot more of it from a lot more enthusiastic people, like the folks at Creator Insider and YouTube Creators.
We'd love your feedback and questions below. Keep it real.
You just got it. What's the other one, since we're playing catch up on all of this? So that was a new feature, touch captions. So, okay, what's the community guidelines for nudity being updated to? And how does it compare to the screwy bans that's going on Twitch?
Hey, Insider.
Hey, Insiders. This guy has so much fun. Not that. This guy has I got Mr. Beast up top there, for Pete's sake. This guy has so much fun doing these, apparently.
Hey, Insiders.
Hi.
I'm Pierce, a product manager working on satisfaction at YouTube.
Let's try that again, since I was an idiot and I scrolled down into the comments by mistake.
Hey, Insiders.
Hi.
I'm Pierce, a product manager working on satisfaction at YouTube. I'm filling in for Connor this week, so let's get into this week's updates.
Because if it's Tuesday, it's Newsday.
First up, in our efforts to improve accessibility, we're piloting a feature called Touch Captions. This feature will initially only be on desktop with a small number of English-speaking channels, beginning in late September. Touch Captions will allow viewers to suggest automatic caption corrections directly through the transcripts panel. We're hoping this improves the automatic captions quality and reduces work for both creators and viewers looking to contribute to a channel.
Weren't there community captions a while ago and that feature got pulled? Oh, yeah. If you've ever read any automatically generated YouTube closed captioning in its earlier years, I tell you, reading the captions could be just as entertaining as the video itself. Yeah. If you ever read any of that, there actually were some satire artists who would make like a Plotagon cartoon or something like that, or whatever, animation, something. They'd make like a cartoon, a satire cartoon. Then they would make another satire cartoon of what YouTube thought they were saying. And that was just doubled the jokes.
Viewing a video from a channel where touch captions are available, a viewer can open the transcript, hover over an erroneous caption, click into the editor, submit suggestions directly without impacting watch experience. Touch captions will only be available for videos where automatic captions are turned on. If touch captions are viewable for you, we'd love your feedback in the comments or via the link in the description. Next.
So how do you spend the time going around fixing all of these then? Is there some kind of flag system when stuff gets contributed?
As of August 31st, 2022, YouTube has partnered with OBS to bring HDR, high dynamic range encoding support to OBS users, who in turn will be able to stream directly to YouTube. HDR, or high dynamic range, allows for videos to show higher contrast with more colors than standard digital range.
Game streams, IRL streams, or both?
For a more true-to-life viewing experience, with deeper blacks and brighter whites on HDR-supported screens.
Half the time that I try using HDR or HDR-like filters, it doesn't really look true to life. It looks like Lucy in the sky with diamonds or something.
With the OBS 28.0 update, HDR encoding support is now available to all OBS users with the appropriate settings and encoder, who in turn will be able to stream directly to YouTube with no additional setup required. We'll leave info in the description for those interested in learning more. Up next, an update on community guidelines.
Okay, here's the big one.
As of September 7th, we've updated our policies on nudity and sexual content for both live action and animated content. The goal is to better protect users while we ensure YouTube continues to be a place for artistic expressions and educational content.
So if you reenact the scene from Titanic, like paint me like whatever, you won't get a strike?
So think sex toy product reviews for sex education, or
Oh, okay. I wasn't thinking of that.
steamy scenes from your favorite TV shows.
Okay, that's closer to the Titanic thing.
We want to get into detail around where policies are being relaxed and where we're being a little more restrictive. Where we are being more permissive, content from TV shows, movies, and other fictional settings, as long as it has a proper context and doesn't cross the lines of sexually gratifying content.
Yeah, that's what you see if you read that policy. There's an entire help document just for this one thing, because so many people have been asking so many questions about that. But yeah, that is a very, very big tightrope to walk, though, because the problem is always advertisers. Advertisers basically pick where their stuff is shown. So the entire adpocalypse happened because advertisers didn't like where their stuff was showing up. Now, I imagine if you're the CEO of Durex or Trojan or whatever, you would love to have your ads on something a little on the risque side on YouTube. But not if you're like St. Jude Children's Hospital or something like that. No. It's just the advertising thing is, and that's one of the reasons why I think YouTube should separate itself out from being so advertising dependent. Have a separate YouTube partner program for people that aren't as ad friendly in what they do, but they still have access to supers and stuff that YouTube can take a cut of. But yeah, just all that giant wild card in the world of business with ad friendliness and being brand safe. That's what I was talking about last night with the huge Twitch drama that went down. It's like, how can you be a marketing director at some of these companies that sign deals with these streamers and see stuff like what happened last night and not think of phoning it in with the folks at the office on Monday to cut ties with some of these people because they make your products and services look bad because of the way they behave? That's the way it works in business.
For example, we may no longer age-gate a non-graphic sex scene from a dramatized or fictional content as long as there is no nudity. And we may not age-restrict the appearance of a sex toy in scripted content as long as it isn't being depicted in a sexually explicit way.
Well, that sounds interesting. The thing is, though, I often wonder about some of these more blue law type socially conservative things because, let's be blunt here, we learned about this stuff when we were a lot younger than the official age we were supposed to learn it at. I grew up in an environment where second graders were smoking, even though the smoking age was 18. That's cigarettes we're talking about, not vapes, cigarettes. Second graders were smoking cigarettes in the neighborhoods I grew up in. So, parents have to be the ones to take the initiative to not allow ads or not allow certain apps on their kids' phones or use parental controls and stuff. But I can tell you, The world has its way of introducing itself to people at far younger ages than what we officially set. It's one of the reasons why I didn't drink in college. There were a lot of people drinking underage. It's basically part of college to drink underage. And even the people that didn't go to college, they had wilder parties because they didn't have administrators that would fine you $500 for sneaking a keg on campus. Now, the laws are what they are. Morals are what they are. Culture is what it is. What parents want to do is what it is. The world has a very bad habit of introducing itself to us as soon as possible. Not necessarily the ages that it's supposed to. As the Zoomers found out if they had parents laid off during the Great Recession and it put a big dent in their childhood. Now they spend the rest of their life with everybody around them having had mostly a happier childhood than they did because mom and dad didn't get laid off and get stuck working $8 an hour at Target instead of having a real career. I'm sure there's at least somebody out there with that kind of a story. It sucked if you were grown up too, by the way, and you had your career shut down or whatever because of no opportunities because the only jobs available were crap jobs.
We will allow for content that is intended for educational purposes that is not sexually gratifying. So, for example, we may not age restrict content where sex toys are seen in the video for the purposes of safe sex tutorials or product reviews. Now here's where we are being more restrictive. We're strengthening our policies to better identify and action ASMR content that is sexually gratifying.
Oh boy, yeah, there we go. Game over. ASMR. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. But it's not. It's a form of artistic expression. Yeah. Having someone with a stereo microphone pretend to kiss your ears. Right. Well, I guess Amaranth's going to stay on Twitch. Oh, anyways.
For instance, ASMR videos that predominantly feature sexually explicit sounds may be age restricted or removed from the platform.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's not like, well, so I don't believe in being a rule bender. And if it wasn't YouTube doing this, it would be the advertisers flipping out, so that would force YouTube's hand anyways. Adpocalypse 3.0. That's how you avoid it. ASMR. Dun, dun, dun. Then again, isn't Pornhub expanding into a more comprehensive platform because they already have the video thing? The same as YouTube. It's like, I wonder what their MAUs are. Well, they start a sister site, ASMR Hub. What's Dan talking about here? Learned about some stuff at age 10, same as other things. Yeah, ASMR, no thanks. I've never really understood ASMR, so I've made fun of it, but that's because I didn't understand it. Typical idiot behavior that people do from time to time. But look, some girl looking gorgeous in a bikini with a stereo microphone pretending to whisper in your ear tells you, put your headphones on, blah, 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 blah. No, sorry. I mean, that is what it is. Oh, man. I'm surprised I haven't seen like stuff on the Team YouTube Twitter about this. Like, why the heck did you shut my channel down? All I do is ASMR videos. I think there's like one person that had that problem.
We'll be enforcing these policies across images such as thumbnails, avatars, banners, and posts that show sexually explicit content. For instance, images showing sex actions without sufficient EDSA context.
Educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic. Hey, Tiangi, you listening?
May be age restricted or removed. We will continue to not allow videos of sex toys when they are in use during a sex act.
Well, if that was the case, wouldn't that basically be pornography anyways? Like, oh, man. The funny part is the way he's explaining this. He's explaining with the same exuberant tone that he would, explain other stuff. So, yeah, this guy is adding a whole new level of comedy to this. But it's good to know that the procedures are being relaxed in certain areas and beefed up in certain other areas. Because have you folks seen what
Now, what's important to note is that these
stop. I need to go to full cam again. Freeze that video for a second. I know there have been YouTube videos about this, but twitch.tv. There he goes, off to the just chatting section. There is an ASMR section here, but let me just see here. How many people are actually in the ASMR section? ASMR, why can't I search for that? All right, we'll just do ASMR on the top menu. There is a dedicated ASMR section. Relax, something. Oh, there's even VTuber ASMR. Wow, as if VTubers haven't already gone everywhere. Yeah, just look at the ASMR section. Well, we probably shouldn't put that on the screen since they tightened everything. Whoa, yeah. No wonder YouTube's doing this. Well, thank you, YouTube, for flying the flag that trying to bend the rules without breaking them is something that you're going to be more professional about. Just chatting. No, I'm not showing what's on the screen here. Let's see here. Oh, XQC. Woo! I got sorted viewers high to low. Hey, there's somebody from, is that Chinese or Japanese characters? This is VTuber, like third place in the, well, it's 1:43 in the morning. Of course, now it can't be China because I think Twitch is firewalled. Maybe Taiwan. Something like that. Avengers Tower. Oh, hi, Ginny. Let's see here. No, it looks like the ASMR. It looks like the ASMR doesn't seem to be in just chatting. Did they finally clean that up? Oh, you cheap ass. OTK is doing a lo-fi 24/7 stream on their channel. OTK ripping off the lo-fi girl. Whatever, OTK. All right. That's probably the last time I'm going to go to the ASMR directory for a while. Mr. Prude there, he's probably going to go there directly after the stream. No, I'm not. I can't stand this fake relationship crap that Twitch fosters in people. Just, because on YouTube, it doesn't have to be that way. You can just watch and enjoy the content. Well, at least YouTube's putting their foot down about all of this stuff. Like, yeah, we're not gonna have any rule bending here. Like, yeah, right.
These apply to all types of content on our platform, including videos, links, comments, community posts.
Back it up.
Without sufficient EDSA context.
I almost misread that as BDSM.
From the platform. We'll be enforcing.
Oh, we're totally getting demonetized. Hi, yellow $sign.
These policies across images such as thumbnails, avatars, banners, and posts that show sexually explicit content.
Well, since we've mentioned it so many times, we probably already are. Channel content list, we've turned yellow, right? Not that it does very much, except, whoa. YouTube. Thank you for your robots finally getting smart enough to acknowledge that I make fun of this stuff rather than go barreling head first into it.
For instance, images showing sex actions without sufficient EDSA context,
educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic,
may be age-restricted or removed. We will continue to not allow videos of sex toys when they are in use during a sex act.
Okay, we've already seen this part.
Now, what's important to note is that these updates apply to all types of content on our platform.
You know what I'm starting to remind myself of? Like if Beavis and Butthead ever did a comedy skit making fun of a sex ed class in their high school and whatnot. Bringing back memories. I think actually our health teacher, it was called life skills back then, but it was a health class basically. The teacher in my high school had us do the thing where you put your fists together and then they put a condom over the fists and have you try and pull them apart to demonstrate how strong they are. And then to show you not to use Vaseline, they'll smear Vaseline on, and then it breaks down the rubber and it pierces apart. Which is why intimate lubricants are a thing. Have we been demonetized for that? Channel content! Live! Interesting. All right. Back to React mode. We got to finish this sometime tonight. Plus V is going to switch to Guild Wars 2 sometime.
Including videos, links, comments, community posts, and images. To give the community time to adjust, creators won't receive a strike for content removed for violating this policy update if it was uploaded before this policy update on September 7th. Leave your questions in the comments below and we'll pass them directly to the team working on these changes. Up next, to provide the most engaging experience for viewers, we're exploring a new immersive format for vertical videos, or VVODs.
VVODs? That is so close to Vivo, the music video, folks. VVODs. Okay, I thought Twitch streamers referring to regular videos as VODs was bad enough. Now we have VVODs? What is... Doesn't that sound like something from a science fiction show? Invasion of the VVODs.
Working on these changes. Up next, to provide the most engaging experience for viewers.
In all fairness, though, YouTube originally being a horizontal video platform like this, a better way of displaying vertical videos when you have a horizontal screen is probably in a very high demand right now, especially with YouTube Shorts.
We're exploring a new immersive format for vertical videos, or VVODs, to improve consistency across.
When the Glove and Boots puppets did that comedy skit back in like 2010 or whenever, I never in a million years would have thought of referring to vertical videos as VVODs. Is that a new term that recently got formalized a couple of years ago? Are they teaching it in the colleges if you go for this type of stuff in your degree nowadays? Rise of the VVODs. Order now on HBO. Actually, it's pay-per-view I'm thinking of. VVODs. That's like, no, Vindalia could have that as like an emote in her Twitch chat. VVODs as an emote. What would that even look like? An owl watching a tube TV? Whatever.
Video formats on home. While VVODs represent only a small percentage of videos, up until now, they've created an inconsistent viewing experience for users browsing on home.
Because of the huge pillar boxes.
As black void spaces appear on both sides of the video,
a.k.a. pillar boxes.
Which in turn makes it more difficult for viewers to evaluate and engage with the content they're interested in. While we've previously encouraged creators to optimize for 16:9 thumbnails and videos, in the new, more immersive experience, thumbnails for VVODs will now be auto-scaled to the 4:5 aspect ratio, resulting in some 16:9 thumbnails to appear cropped. Our experiment results showed that creators should expect a modest improvement to views and watch time for both square and vertical content with the new vertical video rendering. We're rolling out this change globally this week. Let us know if you have any questions in the comments. That's it for this week. From the creators of YouTube to YouTube creators, see you next week.
Thanks, smartphones. Changing everything with my darn... Yeah, that's what the Game Chasers is doing their thing tonight. If he's not playing any... Shoot, I might have two streams going at once on two different platforms. I'm done with this. Yeah, Game Chasers. Actually, can we set up a playing some retro games? NES Genesis. Let me go this. Guys, that's an ad. No, that's not what the Game Chasers dude sounds like. Give me the link to this. Give me the link to this. Can I edit the live redirect for this so you folks go off to the Game Chasers after this? I'm gonna go see what V's up to. Customize. Live redirect. See if they've turned that on yet. I can. Click. Redirect privileges needed. Ask the Game Chasers to add you to their live redirect list in community settings. Hey, Game Chasers folks, turn on the allow all so you can funnel folks over into your chill stream after I'm done running my mouth. Actually, I'll probably say hello or something like that and mention that earlier, that I would love to live redirect on a Saturday night from a late night nerd lounge to their retro streams. Very much the sort of thing that that folks would be interested in. Let's see here. Plus, a nice way to wind down after my super serious commentary. Dang. Wrong chat. I'm on the Game Chasers' chat. Get out of that. Oops. Does Control-Shift-T work in Firefox? Probably gotta link the video back up. YouTube Creator Insider. Wasn't there one more that we should watch here? What I should do is add in a shout out to Creator Insider in the description, since we've done so many wonderful reactions to their various videos here. Let's make sure we do that. People need to stop making excuses working for free. YouTube and Google. YouTuber shoutouts. We're going to put in the clickable program guide later anyways. Let's put the Game Chasers in there too, since we did mention them. Creator Insider and at the Game Chasers. So link is now in the description. Does still go by Captain 8-Bit over there? Interesting. Save, that is now in the description. And let's load up what is this there? The big one. It only got 9,000 views though.
Hello, Insider.
Yeah, and this is load up react mode. This is the big one. So those of you folks that were looking for a reaction mode, those of you folks that were looking for properties, those of you folks that were looking for better categorizing or better cataloging of videos, shorts, and live streams on YouTube, this was one of the biggest news events of the week. What do we have for live time, by the way? 2:37. I thought this was going longer than normal. We'll probably spend until sunrise or whatnot putting in a clickable program guide, or maybe just do it tomorrow. The subscribers can have access to the replay, and I'll just fix all that up and get that all working. All right, this is the big one. Channel page improvements, including shorts, videos, and live tabs. They're finally going to catalog everything out. And
Hello,
whatnot.
Insiders. My name is Ann-Kathrin, and I'm a product manager here at YouTube. Today, I want to give you a sneak peek on updates that are coming to your channel pages and get your feedback on some projects that the team is exploring. First up, Shorts and Live tab. We have heard your feedback loud and clear. You want a Shorts and a Live stream tab on your channel page. With this upcoming launch, we will split the content of the Videos tab in 3 separate tabs.
And you need to make that stuff before it'll show up for the first time. By the way, this is the new dark mode. Kind of bubbly, looks a bit like Facebook almost. Not quite, though. But yeah, so if you make shorts, the shorts tab shows up. You make videos, videos tab shows up. So it's no longer mixing it all together. So look, I have separate playlists for videos, shorts, streams, and stuff from streams. So you can actually see what the latest is for all the content formats just on my own channel page. So this is kind of redundant, but for the people that use the default UI or the UI on mobile, this is a huge improvement. All of you people that have been upset with all those shorts mixing in with the videos, it's got to have its own thing now. And don't forget, the algorithms are based on whether you've shown previous interest in something besides videos. So, yeah, I like this UI too.
Videos tab will be hosting long-form videos only. Shorts tab will be showing all of your shorts. And the Live tab will be showing past, current, and upcoming live streams. Only the tabs that actually have content will be shown. So let's say you've never live streamed before. A live tab won't be shown on your channel page. You can expect these changes to launch this fall. With the introduction of the Shorts tab, we will now land viewers directly on your channel on the Shorts tab when they're coming from the Shorts player.
It makes sense, too, because of the different aspect ratios and stuff. If you're already on a mobile phone ecosystem, shorts are probably what looks the best anyways. I've very seriously been thinking about working on more YouTube shorts. Just been having a hard time figuring out what to do in those 1-minute itty-bitty videos. But I do know that mobile is big. Mobile is big to the point where it's getting to the point where it's the, mobile is big. It's getting to the point where vertical video is more of a thing than horizontal video when people are away from a big horizontal screen.
With this change, your viewers will have easier access to the membership join button, your channel store, and can more easily find other videos on your channel. This change will also launch this fall. Other exciting changes that are coming are visual updates across platforms.
So is that like gel interface thing that looks kind of like dark mode Facebook? Not exactly Facebook though. Or maybe I'm mixing it up with something else. I know the Facebook logo is definitely round, but the showdown of the Clash of the Titans-y type stuff here is YouTube versus Facebook when Facebook gets its act together. And if you've looked at, we'll probably go to Twitter and take a look at this. If you looked at some of Meta's help files as they transition Facebook gaming into Facebook Live and take its features and spread them out all across Facebook, somebody at Facebook has the right idea. So time's running out for YouTube to stand its ground as Team Blue gets its revenge.
So last year, we modernized your channel pages on mobile. This year, we will start updating your channel pages on web and mWeb and tablets as well. This
That looks cool, by the way. That's the sort of thing I would do with the gradients going every which way.
It will include showing your tagline across platforms, and we are doing some visual styling updates for more modern look and feel. And
Yeah, well, this looks like something I've seen before, though. Wasn't there a Windows theme that looked like this? Some like Obsidian Windows theme? The left bar, though, sadly, it still takes too many clicks to see who's live and stuff like that. I really think YouTube should redo the live bar so that you can choose between the menu or people you follow, and you can leave that as a default setting in your browser or on your phone so that you can look similar to Twitch. You can see instantly who's live, and it has lots of real estate to show everything. It's one of the ways that with streaming, Twitch is ahead of YouTube because now they've put algorithms. They put algorithms in that left bar that's always there when you go there. So now it's going to sort by your interests by default instead of whoever's the biggest. So YouTube has some catching up to do with the UI for streaming as usual.
and across platforms, and we are doing some visual styling updates for more modern look and feel. And we will moreover reduce navigation complexity. So this means you will be hiding empty tabs, like the playlist tab, if you don't have any public playlists. We are also looking into a richer and more immersive ways for you to highlight your content on your channel. Lastly, we want to chat about your
What are those richer or more immersive ways to highlight content on the channel? Is that anything like the Twitch update from 2020 that tried to, like, check out this Just Chatting stream from 4 hours ago or something like that, where they actually put calls to action into the UI? That might be interesting. Since YouTube has a little of everything nowadays, I think they're more than overdue to have something with a call to action like that, or bring back some kind of customization from before the YouTube One Channel project, which was nearly 10 years ago now. Of course, if you remember the original YouTube profiles leading way to to the media player version, then Cosmic Panda, then YouTube One Channel about 10 years ago. YouTube's UI for channels has been getting more and more restricted. YouTube's UIs for channels have been getting more and more restricted in terms of lack of customization for a very long time. It'd be cool if that went in the other direction and people could customize a few more things on their channel page. Because if they don't, we're going to have a situation where channel pages aren't something somebody goes to. You have huge chunks of social media on mobile that consist of, I open the app and I scroll and I tap like on stuff that I like, but I mostly just sit here and scroll. Not much of a reason to be going to any channel pages, old school World Wide Web style, if you're just sitting there mindlessly scrolling, because that's how your Instagram works, your TikTok works, your YouTube Shorts work, blah, 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 that kind of thing. We continue.
channel home tab. A lot of you may have different content formats, topics, and sometimes even languages on one channel.
Yes, and that's been the SOP, by the way. It's tempting to go corporate and make YouTube channels for literally every interest you have, like iJustine did about 10 years ago. But fundamentally, YouTube is designed to be robust. There's playlists for everything, and even the YouTube One channel lets you have stuff like what I have. My channel's a little too complicated, I'll admit. It's like a giant encyclopedia of bazillions of things to watch. It's like a mini Netflix at this point. You have videos, streams, stuff from streams, and the major series have their last several videos that you can see and click on right there on desktop. Now, I don't think it works that way on mobile, but when you have a nice big screen, you have lots of nice big stuff. So YouTube is officially, there was some prior Creator Insider videos or something. Somebody's got no muffler out there at 2 in the morning. There's a prior something or another somewhere. I've been watching these Creator Insider videos for a long time. Somebody said something at one point about, hey, is it worth it to make more channels or have it on one channel? It used to be official guidance to try and just put it all on one channel. Because if you do multiple channels, it divides and conquers everything. Use playlists so people can find what they want. And in some cases, with things like YouTube Shorts and maybe some other stuff you're experimenting with, don't have them go to the subscription feed if it's new and you haven't really explained what you're doing yet. So you have time to tell your audience what you're up to instead of having some random side video you're working on pop into their sub feed. Plus, you only have 3 notifications per day with the subscription system anyways. So yeah, I'm surprised YouTube hasn't focused more on getting people to have these libraries of stuff on their channel. Because I can tell you, you go to something like MSNBC or the British Broadcasting Corporation or CNN or Fox News, there is multiple things on there. They make robust use of the playlist feature. I don't understand why mainstream media, it's okay if mainstream media has one channel with a bazillion playlists, but little bitty YouTubers like ourselves, it's a problem.
And it's hard to show the right content to the right people when all viewers that are landing on your channel page get the exact same home tab experience.
Oh, I remember what this was. This is awesome too, by the way.
From some of you, we've heard that it's a lot of work to customize your channel home tab. Today, you're basically trying to guess which videos your audience is most interested in without us actually giving you a lot of feedback and indication on whether you're succeeding. We are exploring how we can help you tailor this content better to your audience. One of them is showing the right type of content when a viewer is visiting your channel. This would be tailored to their previous watch history on your channel and elsewhere on YouTube.
Still sore. On Friday, I had flu shot for the year in one arm and bivalent Moderna in the other arm. So muscle pain and muscle aches have been a thing all week, all weekend. But I'd rather do that than miss work because of something like COVID or the flu.
Or topic affinity or the languages they speak. This could be especially effective if your channel has multiple topics, languages, or content formats. As you can see on the screen, this could, for instance, be a recommended for you section, which could feature the content the viewer is most interested in.
If that becomes a thing, I will put that on my freeze framed are really bad. Backup. Well, that's worse. Okay.
Just fall.
Okay, there we go. That's nice. So if the recommended for you section becomes a thing, I'm going to put it up at the top. I already do that with my end screens. The end screens always have something recommended for the viewer, the algorithms, aka the algorithms, from my channel in the upper left. So you will be given, if you watch my videos, you will be given a video that the system thinks you like the most at the end of every single one of them, based on your prior watch history of what you watched of my stuff. So I would totally do this channel wide if it became a thing. And it went across the top. And most importantly, it kept things interesting. Not like the clip viewer on Twitch that bounces you between the same few clips over and over again. Channel home tab personalization. This is actually going way back to the UI from earlier. So let's skip to the next chapter. All right. I think I went back too far.
Add your content on your channel. Lastly, we want to chat about your channel home tab. A lot of you may have different content formats, topics, and sometimes even languages on one channel.
This is the last chapter.
And it's hard to show the right content to the right people when all viewers that are landing on your channel page get the exact same home tab experience.
She's showing
From
Connor
some of you,
earlier.
we've heard that it's a lot of work to customize your channel home tab. Today, you're basically trying to guess which videos your audience is most interested in without us actually giving you a lot of feedback and indication on whether you're succeeding.
So, screwed it up again. I think if I hit back too many times, it goes back a chapter. That's what I screwed up last time. Hey, by the way, if you ever watch any of Pokemane's vlogs, she's becoming more of a vlogger now. You'll find that she keeps constantly trying to smile as much as possible. I'll bet any money that's so if you freeze frame her, the odds are she's smiling. So if she seems like she's forever smiling when she vlogs, even while she's talking, that's the reason why. Make yourself look better when people do reactions to her videos.
Today, you're basically trying to guess which videos your audience is most interested in without us actually giving you a lot of feedback and indication on whether you're succeeding. We are exploring how we can help you tailor this content better to your audience. One of them is showing the right type of content when a viewer is visiting your channel. This would be tailored to their previous watch history on your channel and elsewhere on YouTube, or topic affinity or the languages they speak. This could be especially effective if your channel has multiple topics, languages, or content formats. As you can see on the screen, this could, for instance, be a recommended for you section, which could feature the content the viewer is most interested in, which would be tailored to their viewing preference. For instance, when a viewer started watching a video but didn't finish, this could be something they would be interested in continue watching.
That's actually something, though, that is already a thing on Netflix. Like, continue watching, da-da-da-da. YouTube's way behind the 8 ball on this one. I will add that to the channel page in the #1 parking spot, though, before catch up on the latest. And if I run out of sections for that, it'd be nice if this didn't count against your 12-section limit. If I run out of sections for that, I will put that on the top. Hands down. I will put that on the top if the recommended for you pops up on there. It's about time we had some algorithms on the channel pages, and channel pages got some love anyways. Like I said earlier, we live in a day and age of people scrolling endlessly on phones for their social media these days. There needs to be a reason why people would want to go to a channel page before they'll actually go there. Twitch, take notice. All right, enough of that distortion crap. Let's finish the video.
You would be able to add the section to your channel page. Let us know whether that's something that you would be interested in using. Leave comments and questions below, including features you would like to see coming to your channel pages, so we can take them into consideration as we are looking into 2023 planning.
Oh, so it's a 2023 thing. Well, the thing I like, though, is that YouTube has gone from taking years to release features to taking months to release features. Like, for example, live redirect as a form of raids took years to even pop up on the radar, and only very, very recently now is the allow all tab a thing, so that you can actually very easily do that kind of, very easily do this. Yeah, the game chasers here, and get me Vendalia's channel on Twitch. So this is a, there's this, rated T for teen. Give me that. Let's do a direct bounce over for that, as well as twitch.tv/ except for load this all up. She doing Guild Wars 2 yet? No, she is not. All right, well, we'll just put that in as a link later then. So here's the situation. We're going to need live control room to make that work. So that's the thing. It's just YouTube is faster with its release of new features and stuff along those lines. That's the thing. I like what YouTube is up to. I like what they're working on. I just want to see it work well, to the point where we can get rid of some of the pseudo-science-y type stuff of years gone by, where people are learning or discussing or talking about how YouTube works 100% through conjecture and anecdotes. So there's more transparency and more data available nowadays. That research tab in particular is really cool. But it's cool these features are being rolled out for content creators' benefit. It's cool that these features are getting worked out for content creators' benefit here. Let me open up Notepad. Let's see here. So if the thing to remember too is that Twitch is not the problem here. Twitch is not the problem here. Twitch is the little guy. Chill stream there. Twitch is the little guy. Load this up. Twitch is the little guy. The real monster, the sleeping giant, is Facebook. And that's going to be the sort of thing that I think we should take a look at lastly here. So those folks that just left and they thought the stream was over. Whoops. Let's the balance of this discussion, let's set it up for that little thing I saw where the sleeping giant was stirring. Where was that? Looks kind of like something from a doctor's office because it's from Meta. But where was that? I could probably search for my own tweets to get this thing here. It was a screenshot that I took earlier. Sleeping giant is going back too far. I'm missing it somehow. All right. Sleeping giant is stirring from MultimediaJay. Use the syntax that I've been looking at here. Oh, nice and bright. Nice and bright. Give me browser mode here. There are signs of life at Facebook. There are signs that the sleeping giant is stirring. Here's something I was looking for with regards to Facebook stars earlier. What we have here, give me my pointer back. This is a Meta help file on adding stars to live video, which is no longer restricted to Facebook gaming from the looks of it. Looks like they're moving it. We know they're closing down the Facebook gaming app. And part of that is that what was developed for Facebook gaming is going to be folded into the entire rest of Facebook. Facebook had Facebook Live for regular streams and Facebook gaming for gaming streams. But who wants to have two different products that do essentially the same thing, especially when Twitch went from gaming to everything and YouTube is already everything. So, and it's what throws off the numbers every quarter. This is the help file for setting up Facebook stars. Look what we have over here. Step 1, go to Creator Studio. Select the notification set up stars, see on Facebook, go to Creator Studio and select monetization. Here's the UI. Home, Content Library, Insights, Inbox, Monetization, Copyright, Rights Manager, Creative Tools, Settings. It's a blue version of what YouTube has behind the scenes for creators. It's a blue version of YouTube. We know there's changes going on at Facebook. This is something... I should look at more of these. This is something... The stars tool available just needs to be set up. Stars and level up set up. This is competition on the horizon. We mentioned earlier, Facebook, if it ever got its act together, would be a force to be reckoned with when it comes to online media. Text updates, pictures, albums, video, short form through Reels, by the way, which have been imported over from Instagram. Another product. We see Instagram on here too, by the way, for Creator Studio. Another Meta product. There's no reason why Facebook can't get it together and be more of a threat to YouTube and Google. And here we see some of the early signs of that happening. So that is the competition to keep an eye on, not YouTube versus Twitch. Definitely not YouTube versus Twitch. Let's put some links in the chat. Let's put some links in the chat so you folks can go chill after all my late night discussions here. Welcome to the Late Night Nerd Lounge. Thank you for stopping by the Late Night Nerd Lounge. So the Game Chasers, they may not allow live redirect from everybody yet, but this is their chill stream for playing retro games. And on Vindalia's side of things, I'm going to go see her switch over to Guild Wars 2 shortly. Probably I'll end up running both of these streams at once. So, say hi to either of these if you want and tell them Jay sent you. Tell them Jay sent you. So we'll throw another smiley for that. 2:14 in the morning. Total live time was what again? We got almost 3 hours out of all this. I'll get to work on the clickable program guide for the after the fact folks and stuff like that. So yes, it's not wrong to want YouTube to do its job. YouTube is working on a lot of nice things. Technologies with lots of promise for creators, advertisers, people selling movies, YouTube is working on all kinds of wonderful stuff. It's time to stop the fake, oh, you know what I'm talking about stuff from conjecture and anecdote and stuff like that, and all the excuses people might have made for YouTube 5 years ago when we didn't have the kind of transparency that we have today. It's an improvement that YouTube is the way it is these days. The problems you'll have on YouTube are most likely going to be some system not working right rather than some personal squabble or whatever. It's going to be a technology thing. That's probably the lesser of two evils in terms of how things work than the alternatives these days. And I'll just leave it at that. Shout outs to the Game Chasers and shout outs to Creator Insider. Thanks for watching, everybody. After the fact crowd, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to this after the fact. I'll be sure to get the clickable program guide in as well. But what a way to end a Saturday night. I come on here bummed out because people didn't watch my Guild Wars 2 stream, and I end up with lots of wonderful conversations, lots of wonderful reactions, and lots of good things to talk about. 3 hours of good, solid commentary. This is what I'm looking for in this radio show style stuff for these chat streams. And there'll be other stuff on this channel as well. Let's get back to that, shall we? Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.